स्क्रीन कहाँ से यहीं से क्या लगता है लीड लैपटॉप
जो डिसिप्लिन वाले स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो साइड पे रहेंगे, बाकी कोई नहीं रहेगा गैलरी के अंदर।
ठीक है बेटा, लॉगिन कर लिया? यस सर, हो गया। चलो ठीक है, चलो इसलिए ना यहाँ से ना बात होगी। ठीक है
सर, एक बार ना भी चीफ गेस्ट आएंगे वहाँ से, इसलिए हमने सामने नहीं रखा। जैसे ही गेस्ट आके वहाँ पर बैठ जाएंगे ना सर, तो हम वहाँ सामने वाले पर रख देंगे। हाँ जी ठीक है सर। हाँ सर, ऊपर से एक बार गेस्ट आता है सर, उसके बाद सीधा सीधा सामने से करेंगे। ये लकड़ी वाला सर,
इसको दीपेश आपने हटाया क्या? वो
अपोजिट साइड
यहाँ
से
पर
लो
एक
सर।
व्हाइट बोर्ड रखा
सर 1 सेकंड में ला रहा हूँ, फिर आप बताना ठीक है या नहीं। उस तरफ ले जा भाई, उस तरफ ऐसे ही उठा था बिल्कुल ऊपर। एक हाथ फोन पे रख ले और एक नीचे से उठा ले बस। इस तरफ करियो, लकड़ी वाला पोर्शन हटा दे।
Discipline committee students are also advised to take the side seats also. You may sit.
सर अब देखना सर।
According to the situation, you may just stand. There is
Yes,
no
sir.
need to stand for the whole time.
ओके सर, ठीक है सर।
दीपम, आपके पीछे कौन स्टूडेंट है? अच्छा नेम दीपांशु। नमन के साथ मयंक। बटन बंद करो बेटा। आपको स्पेशली गाइड किया था कि दैट यू शुड कम इन द यूनिफॉर्म। वेयर इज योर टाइम?
और इसमें ना माइक ऑन है।
कर दिया ना ये, बस वो जब वहाँ आएंगे तो यहीं से कर लोगे तुम कैप्चर वहाँ ले गए।
सर ये
थोड़ा स्ट्रेट अप होकर बैठो बेटा। यहाँ से अच्छा नहीं लग रहा कि जिस टाइप से आप बैठे हैं, ऐसा लग रहा है कि जैसे कोई मूवी चलेगी एंड देन यू विल एंजॉय इट।
कैप्चर करना है।
ट्राई टू बी अटेंटिव।
ठीक है ठीक है ठीक।
को बताया सब हमने सेट वगैरह किसी को नहीं आई।
Soon the program is going to start.
टीचर को रास्ता हो अब जब चीफ गेस्ट आए ना, स्टूडेंट्स को कर लेना, अगर उनको कैप्चर कर लेना, सरस्वती वंदना या पूजा वगैरह करना, उसके बाद इसको ऐसे ही रखना है बस। समझ गए? बीच में से जब से चले जाए ना चीफ गेस्ट, तो बीच में रखना है।
हाँ सर लोगों को शुरू हो गया।
हाँ एक बार तो कहते दिखा दो इसको थोड़ा मैं इसलिए आपको पहले बता रहा हूँ कि इसमें ऑडियो रिकॉर्ड
शाम भैया शाम भैया
हेलो
जाके बैठे चेयर पे कुछ नहीं सर हम आपको घूमने का ही काम है। इसका कैसा हो सर कैसा हो सर कैसा हो सर
हाँ बराबर सीधा बना दो सीधा बना दो
बाई करते हैं सिग्नल ड्रॉप सेट कर लेते हैं, ठीक है। सही आ रहा है, सही आ रहा है। अरे म्यूट करिए आप।
Ladies and gentlemen, for the huge round of applause, we have a big round of applause. As a part of our ritual, I request our distinguished guests for lightning ceremonial invoke the divine grace of Goddess Saraswati Ma, the goddess of knowledge and wisdom. Please, sir, ma'am. I request Survi ma'am for Saraswati Vandana. I request everyone to stand.
या ब्रह्मा शङ्करः प्रकृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती नाम ब्रह्म विचार सार परमा अस्याम जगत व्यापिनी वीणा पुस्तक धारिण अभयदाम जाड्यान्धकारापहाम हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिका जलधतिम् पद्मासने संस्थिताम् वन्दे तां परमेश्वर भगवतीम् बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम् बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Once again, good morning and namaskar to one and all. Praiseworthy delegates, distinguished guests, our sponsors, faculty members, and our galaxy of bright minds. I, Charomani, on behalf of the proactive team of organizing committee of the National Conference organized by the Department of Management Studies TIT&S, heartily welcome you all to the inaugural session of the 8th 2 days National Conference on Atmanirbhar Bharat, a vibrant growth in the Indian economy. The world, as we knew, it's changing and new world is unfolding. The strength of our convictions will determine the longevity of our ideas. The imminent time is full of challenges as well as opportunities too. Thus, with the aim of establishing a synchronized account of present and future perspective, the Department of Management has selected this wider and significant theme of the conference of Atmanirbhar Bharat, a vibrant growth in the Indian economy. The present conference provides a platform for sharing a multidisciplinary research papers, case studies that discuss contemporary innovation, entrepreneurship, and business management ideas and other related themes that have strong foothold on economy. Visualize like health and care, education, hospitality, infrastructure, technology, banking, insurance, tourism, and many more. I thank you in advance for joining us at this 2-day National Conference 2023. May I now solicit to the panel of eminent guests, Honorable Professor K.K. Agarwal, Founder Vice Chancellor, IP University Delhi, Ex-Chairman NBA Delhi, Professor M.C. Garg, Director, Haryana School of Business, Guru Jambeshwar University, Hisar, Sri Puran Chandra Pandey, International Visiting Fellow, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Taiwan, and Fellow UNESCO Inclusive Policy Lab, Paris, Professor Divya Malan, Institute of Management Studies and Research, MDU Rohtak, Professor G.K. Tyagi, Director, TIT&S, Professor S.K. Sharma, Conference Convener, to kindly grace the stage with their benign presence. Please, sir. Please, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I really feel privileged to introduce our Director, Professor G.K. Tyagi. Dr. Tyagi is a well-known figure throughout the world in the field of textiles. He has more than 40 years of experience in academics. He has published around 200 research papers. Professor Tyagi has been very active in many professional organizations. He has served as advisor to Indian Council of Agricultural Research. He has been a member of advisory committee of the Sangam University. He has acted as a reviewer of Journal of Textile Association. He has been the journal reviewer of Clothing and Apparel, Hong Kong, and Textile Research Journal, USA. He has served as Director Principal, Manikya Lal Verma PG College, Bhilwara, and the founder of VC of Bikaner Technical University. May I now request Professor G.K. Tyagi, Director TIT&S, to please come on dais for welcoming our chief guest and learned gathering for the inaugural session of National Conference Atmanirbhar Bharat 2023. Please, sir.
Dignitaries of the dais, honored speakers, participants, my colleagues on faculty, and dear students. I really feel honored to welcome you all to 2 days National Conference on Atmanirbhar. To begin with, I wish to acknowledge the presence of all delegates, speakers, and participants, and extend a hearty welcome to you all to TIT&S. Friends, we are indeed fortunate to have with us Professor K.K. Agarwal, the Honorable Chairman of National Board of Accreditation, Delhi, as the chief guest of this national conference. I, on behalf of entire TIT&S family, welcome you, sir, and express our gratitude for accepting our invitation for being with us. I would also like to convey our heartfelt gratitude and honors to the other delegates and dignitaries, Professor M. Segal, Director, Haryana School of Business, J.J. Vizar, P.C. Pandey, International Visiting Fellow, Ministry of Affairs, Taiwan, UNESCO, and Professor Divya Manan of IMSAR's University, MD. First, as you know, this Atmanirbhar Bharat initiatives not only speaks of our advocacy and promotion of our local production manufacturing systems, but it really concentrates and focus on innovations, research, and skill development, etc., enhances entrepreneurship environments and encourages industrializations. It also aims at empowering the youth of India to create new innovation suggestions so that it may be used to boost the growth of our country. So this government of India in this context has also given a serious attention to this very complex issue and has framed and implemented many policies to promote economic independence and resilience in our country. Through this event, specifically this national conference, we would have a deep understanding of how this Atmanirbhar Bharat national conference will contribute to the growth of our country. We will come to know how it will transform our country, particularly India. How will it create new opportunity, and how will it enable us to become a strong India? I believe and I hope that we all will have interactive discussions, and the experts and professionals sitting here will also have successful delegations, and I do hope their remarks will definitely give new clues to the policy makers which will benefit India. Once again, at last, I congratulate Professor S.K. Sharma and his team for selecting and choosing this important topic for today's deliberation, and I do hope that all you sitting here will find this event most valuable and insightful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now it's a great pleasure to welcome and to introduce such a noble personality as our chief guest, Professor K.K. Agarwal, a man with a great dedication and perfection. Professor Agarwal is an engineer, professor, and an eminent IT expert. He was the founder of Vice Chancellor
of the Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University. He served as the president of the Computer Society of India for the period of 2007 to 2009, and also has held the position of vice president of Southeast Asia Regional Computer Confederation for the period of 1 year, and then the president for 2009 to 2010. Professor K.K. Agarwal obtained his engineering degree from Punjab University and master's from the Kurukshetra University, securing the first position in both. Later, he did his PhD in reliability evaluation and optimization also from the Kurukshetra University. In 1975, he rose to the level of professor at an age of 27 and a half years, probably the youngest person in the world to have achieved this level. Currently, he serves on the board of governors, IIT Patna, a member of the UPSC committee on restructuring IAA preliminary examination, and also a member of the HRD task force on faulty availability in the higher education institutions and performance appraisal of teachers. After having served at NIT Kurukshetra, Professor Agarwal was appointed Pro-Vice Chancellor, Guru Jambheshwar University, Hisar, for a period of 3 years. And then in 1998, got appointed as a Founder Vice Chancellor of GGS Indraprasth University, Delhi. He continued on this position up to 30th November 2008. He also served as a sectional president in the Indian Science Congress Association. He had been elected as a President Computer Society of India for the period of 2007 to 2008 and re-elected for the year of 2008 to 2009. Professor Agarwal had also been elected as a Vice President of Southeast Asia Regional Computer Confederation for the year of 2008 to 2009, and now it's present for the year of 2009 to 2010. Professor Agarwal has extensively worked in various fields of electronics and computer engineering. He has published about 300 papers in reputed journals, more than 130 of these in international journals. He has been invited to deliver lectures in several universities in India and abroad, such as the University of Berkeley, USA, University of Cincinnati, USA, Florida State University, USA, University of Birmingham, UK, Technical University of Germany. Professor Agarwal declared as a man of decade, man of the century, and finally the man of the millennium by American Radiographical Institute, USA, and was conferred A.C. Varman Award by the Institute of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers. Professor Agarwal has been conferred Rajkumar Vachne Award in the System Theory for the year 2006 by the System Society of India for the recognition of his excellent contribution toward the reliability analysis of engineering system. Professor Agarwal has been conferred the Sir Thomas Ward Memorial Award for his paper entitled Optimizing Handover Performance in Microcellular System by the Institution of Engineers. Professor K.K. Agarwal has achieved great success in his field and significantly contributed to the community and the society. His achievements and dedication to his work serve as an inspiration to all of us. We are blessed to have you, sir, in this campus. I now request our director, sir, G.K. Tyagi, to present a Samman Patrika, and also requested to Professor S.K. Sharma, sir, to present a bouquet to our chief guest. Thank you, sir. Have a great round of applause. Thank you, sir. It's a matter of great pleasure to introduce our guest of honor, Professor Mahesh Chand Garg. Professor Garg served as a member, Academic Council, Central University of Haryana, Mohindergarh. He has also served as a member of Academic Council, Deen Bandhu Chotu Ram University of Science and Technology, Murthal, Sonipat. He acted as a Director, Distance Education, GJU Science Technological, Hisar. Professor Garg served as a Director, Internal Quality Assurance Cells, GJU Hisar. He had also been a member of Board of Governors, Haryana School of Business, GJ University, Hisar. Presently, he has been a member of PG Board of Studies and Research and Management in Indira Gandhi University, Mirpur, Rewari. He has been served as a member of Academic Council, GJ University, Hisar, served as a chairperson, Department of Commerce, CDLU, Sirsa, and he has undertaken and completed various UGC-funded research projects. He has written various informative books on the topics of banking, finance, HR, and the management topics. He has published more than 100 research papers. He has a great contribution in the field of finance, HR, and all perspectives of the management. We are blessed to have you, sir. Now, I would like to request Sri Aishwarya, sir, to present a bouquet to our chief guest, to the guest of honor, MC Garg. Please, sir. Have a great round of applause, students. Now I request Dr. Ajay Sharma to adorn a Samman Patrika to Professor MC Garg. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to introduce our key speaker, Sri P.C. Pandey, who has graciously accepted our invitation to join us today. Mr. Pandey is a highly accomplished individual in the field of education, environment policy, climate change, policy design and delivery, social policy, sustainable development goals. Currently, Mr. Pandey serves as an international visiting fellow, Taiwan Foundation for Democracy, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Taiwan. He previously worked with the United Nations Global Compact, Nippon Denro, Times of India, including DOC Research Institute in the Berlin in senior leadership roles. Having graduated from LSE London, he is the recipient of fellowships in US, UK, China, Sweden, Japan, and Taiwan for advanced policy research. He also chaired policy committees with governments, UN agencies, and those of bilateral and multilateral agencies. He also worked in the area of socio-economic policy and the development issues. He has authored public documents, point of view papers, policy notes, and written extensively on development, human welfare, social policies, and poverty, including having authored 3 books on the sustainable development and more than 100 articles in the journals and media. Mr. Pandey also contributed to Global Encyclopedia on Sustainable Development, having earned appreciation of UNSG in 2008 for his leadership on Teach India. Mr. Pandey also got awarded by UK government for his contribution in the field of science and sustainability. We are honored to have Professor Pandey sir with us today. Now I request Mr. Mukesh Kumar to present a bouquet to P.C. Pandey sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Manoj Nanda to adorn the Samman Patrika to our key speaker, Sri P.C. Pandey. Thank you, sir. It's an honor to introduce Dr. Divya Milan as a professor in Institute of Management Studies and Research. She is additional director in Center of Life Skills and Soft Skills, Maharishi Dayanand University, Rohtak. She is also Program Coordinator of Directorate of Distance Education, MDU Rohtak. She also worked as a soft skill trainer, Youth Center for Skill Development for All Services, MDU Rohtak. She has more than 20 years of experience in teaching and in academic field. She has published more than 20 papers in various reputed journals and 10 book chapters. She has also participated and presented papers in more than 50 international and national conferences and seminars. She has been presented more than 50 papers in international and national conferences and seminars. She organized various conferences, seminars, conclaves, and workshops, including UGC, AICT, and Atal FDPs. She has also 13 years of experience in All India Radio, Parashar Bharati, Government of India, as a casual announcer and compare popularly known as radio jockey RJ. She has also 5 years experience as a news reader at a Doordarshan Parashar Bharati, Government of India. She is a visiting faculty at ICAI for GMCS and orientation programs for over 10 years. We welcome you, ma'am. Now I request Dr. Monica Sharma to present a bouquet to our key speaker, Professor Divya Manal. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Dr. Ankita Gupta to adorn the Samman Patrika to our key speaker, Professor Divya Manal. Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to request Sri Umesh T to present a bouquet to our worthy director, sir, Professor G.K. Tyagi. I would also request Professor S.K. Sharma to adorn a Samman Patrika to our director, sir, Sri G.K. Tyagi ji. Thank you, sir. Now, finally, I would like to request our worthy chief guest, Professor K.K. Agarwal, to declare the conference open. Up to you, sir. Where you sit right now, but just to give thumbs up. Yes, yes.
Great pleasure in opening the conference.
Thank you very much, sir. I feel honored to introduce Professor S.K. Sharma, convener of this conference. Professor Sharma is a well-known personality in the field of management, teaching, and research. He has 38 years of teaching experience, including 27 years as a professor management in the Technological Institute of Textile and Sciences. He has served Jodhpur University, Manipur Central University, and Amethi University at Noida as a director. He also possesses 29 years administrative experience. Being senior most professor, he looks after all academic and administrative activities of the institute with the director. Dr. Sharma is approved professor of Maharishi Dayanand University, Rohtak, and Dr. Sharma is also acting as a coordinator of IQAC NAC. He has presented papers at national and international seminars, conferences, and chaired several technical sessions. He has contributed 61 research papers, articles in the national and international journals. He has completed 6 sponsored major project reports funded by the University Grant Commission, New Delhi, and the Indian Council of Social Sciences Research, New Delhi. He had been selected UGC Research Awardee in the management of 9th plan and completed a major research project entitled Environmental and Organizational Appraisal in Indian larger companies, recipient of Lokmat National Education Leadership Awards for B School Leadership Award at Taj Lands and Mumbai on 13th December 2014. Dr. Sharma is associated with National Board of Accreditation, a body of All India Council of Technical Education, as a chairman and a member has visited about 20 institutions, UGC, and a member of Finance Committee to review and allocation of grants. Indian Council of Social Science and Research, and under the Ministry of Human Resource Development and Haryana State Board of Technical Education in different capacities. He is a visiting fellow in Jivaji University, Gwalior. Dr. Sharma is a life member of various renowned professional bodies. He has been associated with the different universities, management institutes, academic staff, colleges, public service commissions, and other professional institutes of national repute like the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, the Institute of Coast Accountants of India, and the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, and has been examiner for evaluation of PhD thesis about 50 Indian universities. His focus areas are strategic management, research methodology, marketing management, and financial management. With these words, I would like to invite Professor Sharma on the podium to introduce the theme of the conference to the gathering. Please, sir.
Honorable Professor Agarwal, guest, UPS of the College, Professor MC Garg, guest of honor, Mr. Puran Chand Pandey, keynote speaker from the corporate, Professor Divya Malan, keynote speaker from the academics, respected directors, sir, distinguished guests, delegates, media personnel, sponsors, faculty members, and dear students. Before I introduce the theme, I would like to share the conception of the management education in TIT&S. Management education started in TIT&S in 1986 with the program of Master of Management Sciences. We converted this program and changed the nomenclature Master of Business Administration in 1999 as per the ICT guidelines. Department program is approved by AICT and affiliated to MD University Rohtak. 2020, we started the BBA program as per the need of the society with the intake of 60. And last year, as per the demand of this program, we increased the intake from 60 to 120. The department 8 core faculty members, and till now, they have published about 500 research papers in the national as well as international journals. Department has completed 9 major research projects funded by University Grants Commission and All India Council for Technical Education. University has received the grant, the institute has received the grant about 35 lakhs from the different academic bodies, funding agencies like the UGC, AICT, Indian Council of Social Science and Research, and DST. Department has organized 20 national conferences, seminar, workshops, but at faculty development program. Department take the lead to organize the academic events in the current relevance every time. Today is the 8th conference which we are going to organize today. Earlier we also organized the functions of the various topics. You will appreciate the title was Way to Excellence by Managing Strategic Change. Strategic transformation in Indian corporation. Strategic transformation in the globalized era. Emerging challenges in technical education. India's economic health major issues. Strategic transformation in management education and new education policy. We have organized the conference in 2018. The aim of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is to make the country and its citizens independent and self-reliant in all aspects. The most important pillar of the Atmanirbhar Bharat, we are talking about the economy, we are talking about the infrastructure, we are talking about the system, development ability, and the demand. Government is putting a lot of emphasis on the entrepreneurship and startups to meet out the demand of the country and to export the surplus so that India can earn the foreign currency which is highly demanded in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, generally, earlier days when we talk about the 3 important needs, roti, kapda, makan, we are talking about the food, cloth, and shelter. But now the time has changed. We have added 3 more basic needs. We are talking about the education, healthcare, and protection. When we talk about the food, it is called agriculture. Today, farmers are in better position from the earlier because of minimum support price as well as the subsidy given by the federal government. Due to this reason, rural demand has increased 23% in urban area in comparison to rural areas in comparison to 19% in the urban area. Different financial institutions like NABARD, Regional Rural Bank, cooperative banks are providing liberal funding to the farmers for purchasing their inputs for their agriculture. Companies like ITC, Unilever, Medico, Britannia, Patanjali are also taking good amount of profit because the availability of cheap raw materials. Come to the cloth. It is not confined to the wearing the cloth, what we think over it. Textile used to be produced various products. The textile sector is a critical sector of India, accounting for more than 2% of GDP, employing 4.5 million people directly and 6.5 million people indirectly. Production linked scheme approved in 2021 for the sector is one of the very important initiatives that is expected to create additional employment of 7.5 million jobs. Our industries like cement, steel, iron are also supporting to the textile industry indirectly. Government is very liberal about the technical textile in the present scenario and providing the good amount of grants through the various schemes for their development. We talk about the shelter, we are talking about the infrastructure of the country. Infrastructure is the backbone of the country. We are doing good jobs in the highways, road construction, ports, warehousing, and import airports to drive the smooth supply chain in the country. The government is also making efforts for providing shelter to every citizen is a dream of our honorable Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. The number of houses have been given to the economical and weaker sections in this direction by the federal government. We are doing well in terms of infrastructure, manufacturing, especially in telecom sector, service sector. Because of this, FDI has increased their share in the country. If you look into the recent time, the Singapore has invested 27%, USA invested 18%, Mauritius has invested 16% in the FDI amount in India. We are talking about the education. Education main source of the country. The government has opened up various higher education institutions like AIMS, NITs, IITs, NITs. But these are not meeting the objectives due to the shortage of talented faculty in the country. The new education policy will bring a dramatic change in the education system through the vocational education if implemented in the right direction and will create the tremendous job opportunities to the young youth in the country. We are talking about the health sector. India accepts the challenges and threats posed by the COVID-19 with courage and spirit of self-reliance and produce the vaccines and export more than 100 countries. And this gesture was appreciated by the world economy as a whole. We are talking about the life expectancy of the people has increased 72%, 71 in the year 2022, which was 48% in 1970. But still we have various challenges in the healthcare sector, too, like shortage of medical practitioners, insufficient research funding, and insufficient health spending. Protection. The main task of every country is to protect their citizens from the various hazards and surrounding threats by the neighboring country. Our government has spent a remarkable amount on this front, about 5.59 lakhs crore in the current year, fiscal 2023-24, as compared to 5.25 lakhs crore, it was 22 and 23, increased the 30% budget for the defense. Today, India is in position to export the defense weapons to other countries also and earning a good amount of foreign exchange. Where we stand, gentlemen? Our country has repeatedly progressed and become the world's fifth largest economy. Our GDP is projected by the World Bank 6.9% in current fiscal, which is the highest in the world. We are doing well in terms of infrastructure, manufacturing, and other sectors too. We feel proud to preside over the prestigious G20 summit. This will bring a tremendous opportunity for us to further strengthen our economic and political system. Our financial system is quite sound compared to the rest of the world countries. International Research Agency S&P Global had advocated the strength of Indian banking system as compared to other countries. The recent example is the collapse of the USA, Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank due to the poor regulatory system in their country. The credit suisse crisis is another example, and due to this, markets and customers have lost their confidence and it is dented the world financial system too. Same case in Adani in India, how the economy will come out from it, where the investors have lost their good amount of funds from in the capital markets. Retailers are not willing to put their money into the capital market nowadays due to the fear. We should not blame the government, we should not blame the Adani. SEBI should be made responsible as a regulator in the capital market. Why the SEBI was sleeping when the price was rigging off in the case of Adani share? Ladies and gentlemen, in view of the above, we have some theme of the conference like entrepreneurship and startups, healthcare as a rising sector, infrastructure development key to growth, innovation in technology, new education policy and employability, FDI, foreign direct investment integration. With the direction and background, the Department of Management Studies is organizing a national conference on Atmanirbhar Bharat, a vibrant growth in the Indian economy today. The present conference aim is to provide the common platform for the academicians, researchers, professionals, corporate leaders, policymakers, and students to share their multidisciplinary views. One should not always see the rosy picture. There are some challenges in front of India to become Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we have to take it very seriously. Like the massive population, lack of professional and human value, this is very important in the case of Indian country. Inflation, poor education system, massive unemployment, corruption, women's safety, low literacy, geographical tension, pollution pressure in the country. The formulation strategies are quite easy, that to its implementation. Same story repeated in India context too. Let us see how the various strategies, policies related to Atmanirbhar Bharat will bring a new change in the country. We hope an effective deliberation will show a new direction in the system, and let us see it will bring a dramatic change in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for presenting a very brief note about. Now, I request everyone to make yourself attentive and by taking your notepad and pens with you and put their mobile phone on the silent mode, as this session is going to be a very informative and knowledgeable. With this, I would like to invite Professor Divya Malan for her keynote address to the gathering. Please, ma'am. Our guest round of applause today.
I request Sanjay Sharma sir to please come on the dais and set this lecture for the now presentation.
किधर है पानी?
They have given me a platform to stand on. And we all need this platform today, isn't it so? A very good morning to all ladies and gentlemen. The Department of Management Studies, TIT&S Bhiwani, deserves all appreciation for organizing this national conference on a very apt, relevant and happening topic, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat, a vibrant growth in Indian economy. I must express my gratitude to the organizers, Professor G.K. Tyagi, Director TIT&S, and Professor S.K. Sharma in particular, for having invited me as a keynote speaker for today's conference. I also express my gratitude to all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and a beautiful morning hello to all the young budding managers out there. Are you feeling energized? Why? I don't say very good. I say why. Why are you feeling energized? You're heading towards a conference of 2 days, and what are you looking forward from it? You must set your goals. For these 2 days, what are you going to do? What are you going to achieve? Write down 2 goals that you're going to achieve. Have you got your pens and papers ready? As ma'am had asked you? Very good. Write down any 2 goals that you're going to achieve out of these 2 days. Once you're done with it, I'll give you 1 minute's time and then I'll start with my address. I've prepared some beautiful slides for you. Maybe you can share them with you at some other platform. What is the topic for today's conference? This girl will tell me. Yes. And? Very good. Sit down. You're aware of the topic. I'll start today with few lines. So with your permission. प्यास लगी थी गजब की, मगर पानी में जहर था. पीते तो मर जाते और ना पीते तो भी मर जाते. बस यही 2 मसले जिंदगी भर हल न हुए. न नींद पूरी हुई, न ख्वाब मुकम्मल हुए. वक्त ने कहा काश थोड़ा और सब्र होता, और सब्र ने कहा काश थोड़ा और वक्त होता. शिकायतें तो बहुत है तुझसे ये जिंदगी, पर चुप इसलिए हूं कि जो दिया तूने वो भी बहुतों को नसीब नहीं होता. And I say that my nation India is a rich country. People say we are developing. I say we are rich. We are rich because we have a rich heritage. We have rich culture. We have rich traditions, rich natural resources, rich mineral resources, rich brain power. We are rich in young workforce. And people say we are still developing. You want to remain developing the whole life? What do you want to do then? How many years of independence? अभी भूल गए? Okay, tell me 75. In 75 years, people have been saying that we are developing, we are developing, we are developing. Are you not tired of developing? Don't you want to be developed now? So thank your director and your organizers. They've given you a path to look forward for this very relevant topic, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat. From morning till evening, you're listening to this term. This is a buzzword nowadays. Every second person is talking about it. But what are you thinking about it? So this is what we are going to discuss today. All right? Atmanirbhar Bharat is about empowering our people, building local capacity, and creating opportunities for all Indians to succeed. Have you got your mobile phones with you today? Which of them is made in India? Please raise your hands. The one who believes my mobile is made in India. I'm not saying assembled in India or imported in India. I'm saying what is manufactured in India. Any mobile phone that is manufactured in India. You're all carrying mobile phones, isn't it so? Does this question come to your mind anytime that can I make this mobile phone available in India at a cheaper cost with indigenous mind, indigenous products, raw materials? Does it come to your mind? If it comes to your mind, you will not be sleeping at night. You'll be working. So is it coming to your mind? क्या companies हैं आपके mobiles की? What are the companies with it? One is Apple, iPhone, then Samsung, OnePlus, Vivo, okay, Oppo, Xiaomi. You all know the brand names, right? Which of them is made in India? सभी पे क्या लिखा आता है बॉक्स के ऊपर? They must be so proud of their country. है ना? Made in China. That is why the government has started the scheme. The scheme was launched on May 12, 2020. Why in May 12, 2020? It is running under the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Let me tell you the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. People say that happiness is the consequence of personal effort. People who are happy. If you work for it, you'll be happy. If you keep on lying at your home, you cannot be happy all the time. For some days, you'll be happy, okay, मैं बहुत अच्छी नींद सो लिया और मेरे को बहुत थकावट थी कई दिनों से. But after a few days, you'll not be happy if you're just lying on your bed. So happiness is the consequence of personal effort. You must fight for it, strive for it, and insist upon it. So the government of India launches various schemes for people every year. The motive behind all these schemes is development, whether it is individual development or the development of the nation as a whole. So the futuristic approach of any government takes the nation to greater heights with every step initiated towards development. And one such step taken by the present government was to introduce the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme. As I told you that it was launched on, very good, by Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. The scheme runs under, I told you which ministries? Very good. By the end of this session, you'll be learning all this. The main motive of the scheme was to make India self-reliant so that we minimize the imports. It was launched to encourage Indians to step into self-development through their talent and knowledge. And the pivotal concern of Atmanirbhar Bharat has been the revival of lockdown-haunted economy. When was lockdown imposed on us? 2020, it started at that time. तो जैसे जैसे लॉकडाउन आया वैसे वैसे आत्मनिर्भर भारत का कंसेप्ट आ गया. दोनों चीजें साथ साथ आई. ठीक है? तो लॉकडाउन चलता रहा, इधर से आत्मनिर्भर चलता रहा. क्यों चला ये? Any idea about it? Actually, the mission is directly related to industrialization in all technical, medical, and scientific disciplines. The mission connotes sponsoring and giving the first choice to local products and making certain that these products must maintain cost and quality. The largely Indian market was dependent on Chinese products. But with the advent of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, eventually it boosted the country's economy and benefits the employees, creating job opportunities and reducing unemployment. The scheme formulated is a giant step towards the one nation, one market philosophy and may eventually help India emerge as the food factory of the world also. इधर कोविड आया, लॉकडाउन आया, इधर से आत्मनिर्भर भारत आया. Did you see people dying in COVID? That pandemic? Few of them died because it hurt them badly. Few of them died because of lack of medical facilities. There were no oxygen cylinders available. That was the time when we all woke up. कि क्या हो रहा है? इतना बड़ा देश है, इतनी rich resources है, इतना सब कुछ है हमारे पास, and we are not able to sustain ourselves in a pandemic. आपके पास एरिया भी बहुत है. You have resources, you have talent. People say कि यहाँ इंडिया से ब्रेन ड्रेन हो रहा है, यहाँ से लोग निकल के बाहर जा रहे हैं. Now you are distracted. This is Indian mentality. We are all distracted by anything that happens. Somebody is walking past the stage, you're all worried about where they are going. You should be worried about what is going on. तो जब तक हम ये मेंटालिटी चेंज नहीं करेंगे ना कि हाँ हर एक डिस्ट्रैक्शन, अभी किसी का फोन बजेगा तो उसमें ध्यान चला जाएगा, जितने नोटिफिकेशन है सभी देखने हैं हमको, जो भी आ रहा होगा उसके ऊपर पॉपअप वो भी देखेंगे हम, विदाउट रियलाइजिंग हाउ मच टाइम वी आर वेस्टिंग ऑन दिस, राइट? So what happened? The lockdown came, we were so very badly hit because we did not have masks, we did not have PPE kits, we did not even have testing kits. The testing kits were imported from China. They were not working very well. Many of the people did not have the correct test reports at that time. So we suffered. The entire country suffered, and it suffered badly. The virus was not made in India. It was gifted to us from ABCXYZ. Okay, we are not concerned about that right now. But we did not make it. But definitely we need to protect ourselves. आपके घर में अगर कोई चोर घुस आता है, तो आप आराम से हाथ पे हाथ रख के बैठे रहेंगे? क्या करेंगे? क्या करेंगे? आपके घर में कोई चोर घुसा है तो आप क्या करेंगे? बिल्कुल नहीं, तो वो आपको मार देगा, चोरी करके चला जाएगा आपके सामान को, है ना? यही करेंगे ना. और अगर एक बार चोरी हो जाती है आपके घर में, तो अगली बार क्या करते हैं आप? फिर एक और चोर का इंतजार करते हैं? नहीं, फिर क्या करते हैं? यू इंक्रीज योर सिक्योरिटी. ठीक है, तो वो सिर्फ तभी करना चाहिए जब चोर एक बार चोरी करके चला जाए. तो फिर कब करना चाहिए? तो अभी हम क्या कर रहे हैं? अभी हम क्या कर रहे हैं? हम 3 साल से कोविड से परेशान होने के बाद, दुखी होने के बाद आज भी ये सोच रहे हैं कि आत्मनिर्भर भारत बने कि नहीं बने. इस पर डिबेट नहीं होना चाहिए. अब तो हमें ये सोचना चाहिए कि हमें कैसे आत्मनिर्भर बनना है. People are still thinking about whether this slogan is all right, whether Make in India was successful. पहले Make in India आया, अब आत्मनिर्भर भारत आ गया. एक buzzword आ जाता है every 4-5 years. There is something new coming up in the market. We are busy studying it, and then we come up with another buzzword. After 3-4 years, there is another thing that comes up. So we are all busy thinking about that then. फिर हम नई policies सोचते हैं, कुछ और करते हैं. The first and foremost thing that we need to think is that we have to make in India. We have to be self-reliant. Self-reliant का मतलब आपको खाना बनाना आ गया. ठीक है, घर में आपको किचन में अपना ब्रेकफास्ट बनाना आ गया. मम्मी कहीं बाहर चली गई हैं, तो किसी दिन आपको बनाना पड़ रहा है. आपने खाना बनाना सीख लिया. यू कैन मेक फॉर द एंटायर फैमिली. कोई बात नहीं, बहुत अच्छा नहीं बनाएगा, मम्मी के लेवल का नहीं बनेगा, लेकिन आप खाना बना के खिला सकते हैं. भूखे नहीं मरेंगे उस दिन आप. ये नहीं कि यू हैव टू रिलाई ऑन स्विगी और मे बी जोमैटो ऑन दैट डे कि वे कुछ ना कुछ ऑर्डर करते हैं. ठीक है, आपने कुछ बनाया, ऑमलेट बनाया, ब्रेड बनाई, या जो भी आपने किया, कोई मैगी बना दी, कोई आपने डोसा बना दिया सुबह, एंड यू सर्व इट टू द फैमिली, राइट? यू बिकेम सेल्फ रिलायंट, राइट? द नेक्स्ट डे व्हाट हैपेंस? यू स्टार्ट इम्प्रोवाइजिंग ऑन इट कि अब मुझे ऑमलेट बनाना आ गया है. आज ऑमलेट में मैंने प्याज डाला था, टमाटर डाला था, आज मैं इसमें ओलिव्स डाल देती हूँ, आज मैं कुछ और डाल देती हूँ. ऐसे इम्प्रोवाइज करते हैं ना. तो जैसे जैसे ये स्कीम आगे बढ़ती जा रही है, वी हैव टू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग that how to become more and more self-reliant. Everything is progressing. We are talking about the numbers. Economy में हमारी GDP में इतनी growth हो रही है, हमने इतना ये achieve कर लिया. Okay, numbers are good. See, we have to have data. If we don't have numbers, we cannot quote them anywhere, and nothing works without numbers. Because how will you consider what I am speaking is authentic or not? Authenticity comes only through the data which is available. But sometimes the data, you also know, may not be that reliant. So it is better to not rely on the data only, but to rely on yourself. You as management students have got all the time in this world to think, what are you going to do after 2 years? You're not coming here just to pass your time, sit with girls and boys, have friendships, and then chit chat, sit under the tree, have some coffee, have some snacks, go back home and relax. Because you're not bothered about anything. Ask your parents, there was no Swiggy, no Zomato at that time. जब मम्मी को रात को वो थकी होती थी कभी भी तुम्हारे लिए दाल तो बनाई देती थी कम से कम. अभी क्या होता है, अगर आप थके होते हैं, कॉलेज आ गए, तो क्या करेंगे आप? You will immediately go and order. So that is good, that is nice, but it is not self-reliance. You should know how to prepare your food, and then if you order it, it's fine, because we have to have a win-win situation. See, we'll need technology, we'll need resources, we'll need everything for this Atmanirbhar Bharat to be successful. But we want our country to win. With this huge nation, with this huge young population, do you believe that we can still be left behind China? Why China is giving you everything? You go to the market, you buy a water bottle, you buy a toy, you buy a handkerchief, you buy anything. You buy shoes. Everything is coming with a label of made in China. Should we not feel proud of our nation? Should we not say that Chinese people should buy things from us? We are a huge market, let me tell you. Why do people want to venture into India? Because we have a huge market. We are self-sufficient people. And you know, in the fifth five-year plan कब आया था? (1974), right? सेल्फ रिलायंस की बात तब से शुरू हो गई थी, उससे भी पहले से शुरू हो गई थी. When we started the green revolution. ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन आई थी हमारी कंट्री में, कब आई थी? गूगल है तुम्हारे पास, इतनी देर तक मेरा मुंह देखने की वजह तो अब तक आंसर आ जाना चाहिए था. यूज टेक्नोलॉजी. ओके, व्हाटएवर इट इज, समवेयर इन द 60s, राइट? हमने ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन क्यों आई थी देश में? व्हाई वाज इट रिक्वायर्ड एट दैट टाइम? Because we did not have enough food grains. Our country was forced to import from outside nations because we could not sustain the food grain requirement of the country on our own. So then the people, the leadership decided at that time that we need to be self-reliant. We have to sustain, otherwise मर जाएंगे भूखे. कितना import करेंगे? क्या है हमारे पास देने के लिए? ठीक है? So it is better we start growing. आपने देखा कि food crops में हमने कितना grow किया? We are now exporting to nations, right? So once we decide, तो हम सब कुछ कर लेते हैं, लेकिन उस चोर का इंतजार मत करना कि जब चोर आएगा उसी दिन हम लोग अपने घर में ताले लगवाएंगे, उसी दिन हम लोग सेफ्टी अलार्म सिस्टम्स लगवाएंगे और उसी दिन हम लोग केयरफुल रहेंगे. नहीं, चोरी एक ही बार होती है घर में. अगर आपकी जिंदगी में आपने देखा होगा कोई एक बार चोरी हो जाएगी घर के अंदर और पूरी लाइफ आप जो है सेफ्टी सिस्टम्स को लगा के रखते हैं, इंश्योरेंस प्लान लेके रखते हैं सिर्फ एक दिन की चोरी को बचाने के लिए. और इतना बड़ा कंट्री वर्क कर रहा है, इसको बचाने के लिए कितनी तैयारी करने की जरूरत है? बिकॉज यू कैन लीव योर कंट्री टू समबडी एल्सेस मर्सी. एक और पैंडेमिक आएगा, उसके बाद फिर हम किसी चाइना को ढूंढ रहे होंगे कि भाई देखो किसी पे दो. सिर्फ पैंडेमिक की वेट नहीं करनी है. We also have to think that why can't we be the China for the world? If China can give us so many things, why can't we give that to China? ये लोग तुम हमारी चीजें लो, हमारे मोबाइल फोन यूज करो. You use our mobile phone. Can you do it? Can you do it? How do you do it? There are 5 pillars of self-reliant India. Number 1, economy. Number 2, infrastructure. We need to have good infrastructure. कितना अच्छा infrastructure. आप जिस हॉल में अभी बैठे हैं, what comfortable chairs you are sitting on. When we were young, we didn't have the facility or the joy of sitting on such chairs. We used to sit on benches. Ask sir. और मुझे लगता है मुझसे पहले वाले जो जनरेशन है वो तो और भी कमाल के उसमें रहते होंगे कि वो कट्टे बिछाते थे स्कूल में, नीचे तख्ती लेके जाते थे. अब वहां जो इतने सख्त फर्श पे बैठ के आपको कितनी अच्छी चेयर्स मिली, राइट? दिस इज कॉल्ड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, बिल्डिंग एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. जब हम इंडिया के यहाँ से पिक्चर्स बाहर भेजते हैं and then they come on the world map, right? People watch us, they say that yes, India is growing. Then we need the system. The system has to be technology driven. I'm having a laptop. The younger generation knows it better how to use it. My research scholars have accompanied me for this conference. So they helped me making these slides because I was having less of time. So what happens is that we need a system. Then we need demography. Demography क्या होती है? क्या करेंगे demography का? What age people? कौन क्या कर सकता है? What is your age right now? 20 to 35? Few of them, you must be about 35 also. जो job को quit करके फिर MBA करने आ जाते हैं, because MBA is a program you can pursue any time in your life. So that is not a hard and fast rule. So generally 20 to 25. I think you are in the most and the biggest energy zones of your life. इससे ज्यादा एनर्जी आप में कभी नहीं होगी. इससे पहले आपको समझ में नहीं आता था एनर्जी कहाँ यूटिलाइज करनी हो. आप पेड़ पे चढ़ते थे, इधर खेलते थे, उधर खेलते थे, उसकी टांग तोड़ दी, उसके ऊपर चढ़ गए. ये सब आपने किया. अब आपके पास एनर्जी भी है, आपके पास समझ भी है, आपके पास नॉलेज है, आपके पास इंटेलेक्ट है, आपके पास इंफॉर्मेशन है. इतना सब होने के बाद अगर आप सिर्फ घर में बैठ के एंड यू जस्ट वॉचिंग थिंग्स ऑन योर नेटफ्लिक्स एंड ऑल्सो यू वेस्टिंग योर टाइम. One day, my daughter was watching a series on Netflix. So her father said to her, कि बेटा ये जो Netflix में एक्टिंग कर रहा है इसको तो पैसे मिल रहे हैं इसके. And you have wasted 3 hours. तुम्हें क्या मिला 3 घंटे में? So just think about it. But एक छोटी सी बात है कि वो तो एंटरटेनमेंट करके उनको तो पैसे मिल गए. आपने 3 घंटे में क्या गेन किया? Okay, this is good. You should have entertainment. But for how long? Fix your hours in a day. और उसके बाद टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन बनिए. कोई साइंटिफिक इन्वेंशन के बारे में सोचो. कुछ सोचो कि कोई क्या कर सकता है. कहीं जाओ किसी गांव में पता करके आओ कि रूरल एरिया में क्या मार्केट अपॉर्चुनिटीज है. आप क्या चीज बना के उनको बेच सकते हो. इतनी बड़ी इंडियन मार्केट हमारे पास सामने पड़ी हुई है. बाहर से प्रोडक्ट्स आते हैं. आई वाज सीइंग इन मूवी हमारे यहाँ पे जो स्क्रू ड्राइवर्स है ना, वो एक ही टाइप के स्क्रू ड्राइवर होते हैं. एक लंबी सी डंडी के साथ और एक स्क्रू ड्राइवर होगा. हर तरह की चीज के लिए एक ही जैसा स्क्रू ड्राइवर यूज करते हैं. आई वाज वाचिंग एन इंग्लिश मूवी. तो मैंने देखा कि उनके टूल किट के अंदर इतनी तरह के स्क्रू ड्राइवर्स थे. किसी का हैंडल टेढ़ा है, किसी का कैसे है, कि हर ओकेजन के लिए हर तरह की चीज के लिए उनके पास एक स्क्रू ड्राइवर है. बिकॉज दे आर फोकसिंग ऑन रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट. रिसर्च. बिना रिसर्च की आप चेयर का एंगल भी डिसाइड नहीं कर सकते कि आपकी कमर के लिए किस एंगल की चेयर बननी चाहिए. हमारे यहाँ तो कुर्सी बनी है, उस पर चाहे कमर दुख रही है चाहे कुछ भी दुख रही है, एक जैसी कुर्सी सबको लेनी है. एक ही जैसी साइकिल सभी चला रहे हैं. एटलस ने साइकिल बना दी, एक जैसी साइकिल है. आप जापान में जाके देखिए, जापानीज साइकिल्स आर टेलर मेड टू सूट ईच कस्टमर्स रिक्वायरमेंट. आप गए, आपकी हाइट कितनी है, उसके पहिए कितने बड़े बनेंगे, उसका कैसा कलर होगा, कैसी उसमें घंटी लगेगी, आप लेफ्ट हैंडेड हैं या राइट हैंडेड हैं, आपके ब्रेक्स कहाँ होने चाहिए, सब कुछ जो है दैट इज मेड एज पर द नीड्स ऑफ द कस्टमर. और हमारे यहाँ क्या होता है, एक साइकिल है, कैंची चला लो, ऊपर बैठ के चला लो, पीछे कैरियर पे बैठ जाओ, तुम्हारी मर्जी, चाहे आगे वाले डंडे पे बैठ के चलो, वो तुम्हारी सिरदर्दी है. हमने बना दी, तुम उसको यूज करो. ठीक है. फिर भी थोड़ा सा हमने इनोवेशन किया. अब हमारे पास गियर साइकिल्स भी आ रही हैं, उसमें हमने बहुत सारी. बट स्टिल वी आर फार बिहाइंड बिकॉज वी आर स्टिल नॉट डूइंग मच ऑफ द रिसर्च. एंड फिफ्थ पिलर, 4 पिलर्स बताए नहीं आपको. सबसे पहला क्या बताया? इकोनॉमी. सेकेंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. थर्ड सिस्टम. फोर्थ डेमोग्राफी. एंड फिफ्थ डिमांड. एक कमाल की बात मैं कई बार सोचती हूँ, हम हर रोज इस बात के ऊपर परेशान रहते हैं. वी हैव सो मच ऑफ पॉपुलेशन. पॉपुलेशन से डील करो, डील करो, डील करो. मैं कहती हूँ पॉपुलेशन को एसेट बनाओ. Why are we worried about population? Let us not be worried about it anymore. Let us make it our asset. पहले मम्मी पापा एक बच्चों को सारों को ले जाते थे दिवाली पे, एक जैसे थान में से सबके एक जैसे कपड़े बनवा के ले आते थे. और बच्चे गुम में नहीं होते थे उस टाइम पे, क्योंकि पता लग जाता कि लाल रंग की चेक की शर्ट में सारे उनके घर के बच्चे हैं. वो कहीं पे भी ढूंढ के ले आएंगे, भाई इनको ले आओ, ये उनके घर पे उनका बच्चा है, ले जाओ उसके यहाँ. अब ये आप इतने फैशनेबल कपड़े पहनते हैं, कभी आप रिपीट करते हैं कि भाई आपकी बहन ने भी वही शर्ट पहनी है, आपने भी वही पहनी है? मैं तो ये कहती हूँ कि आप बहन भाई को छोड़िए, आप एक ओकेजन से दूसरी ओकेजन में रिपीट नहीं करते कपड़े. नहीं करते ना, क्योंकि हमने टेक्सटाइल्स में बहुत अच्छा किया है. कर देते होते तो बहुत शरीफ बच्चे होते. So demand, we are creating a demand, right? and we can supply all those things. डिमांड एंड सप्लाई का बैलेंस देखना होता है ना, जितनी डिमांड बढ़ेगी उतनी सप्लाई होएगी, ठीक है? तो हमें डिमांड तो क्रिएट करनी पड़ेगी ना, ताकि हम सप्लाई और कर सकें, राइट? सो व्हाट डू वी डू? कैसे बनती है डिमांड? आप सब यहाँ पे बैठे हुए हैं, राइट? सबकी प्रेफरेंस है कि भाई अभी प्यास लगी, पानी आ जाए, हमने पानी के लिए बॉटल रखी हुई है, राइट? दिस इज अ प्लास्टिक बॉटल, वी ऑल से नो टू प्लास्टिक्स, बट दिस इज कन्वीनियंट, दिस इज क्लीन। हो सकता है कि मेरे पास एक ग्लास भी रखा था पानी की, एक बॉटल रखी थी, मैंने प्रेफर किया कि मैं बॉटल में से पानी पी लूं, बिकॉज आई डोंट वांट टू स्पॉइल माय स्टमक। हो सकता है कि पानी उतना क्लीन ना हो जो ग्लास में रखा है, या वो हाइजीनिकली उतना गुड नहीं है मेरे लिए। सो व्हाट डिड आई डू? आई चोज टू यूज दिस प्लास्टिक बॉटल। इतने साल से प्लास्टिक फ्लोट हो रहा है, इतने साल से हम इसको क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे हैं, मुझे बताइए आप में से किसने बनाया कि इसका सब्स्टिट्यूट बना दूं? डिड यू डू इट? वी ऑलवेज कीप ऑन, क्या करते हैं हम? क्रिटिसाइज। We criticize. What can be a substitute for this plastic bottle? क्या हो सकता है? Any fair idea? कोई ऐसा पेरिशेबल मटेरियल नहीं हो सकता, पानी पिया थोड़ी देर रखा उसके बाद वो खत्म है, या उसको ऐसे से करके क्रश कर दे? आ सकती है कोई चीजें ऐसे? सोचेंगे जब भी तो आएगी ना। You know how this glue stick came? ग्लू स्टिक है ना आपकी फेविस्टिक, कितने आराम से आप उसको ऐसे से ट्विस्ट करके और लगा लेते हो, उसके ऊपर चिपका देते हो सब चीजें। पहले कहाँ आता था? व्हेन वी वर यंग, हमारे टाइम में तो फेविकॉल आया था, वो बहुत अच्छी चीज होती थी, डब्बे में फेविकॉल आता था, फिर हम उसको खोलते थे और फिर ऐसे ऐसे करके वो झाड़ू की जो सीख होती है उससे फिर लगा देते थे, ठीक है? उसके बाद फेविकॉल क्या है, ट्यूब में आने लगा, कि थोड़ा सा फेविकॉल निकाला और आपने चिपका दिया। देन एक लेडी बस में जा रही थी, तो उनके पास एक बहुत कमाल के व्यक्ति बैठे हुए थे किसी कंपनी के। उन्होंने देखा कि लेडी ने अपने पर्स में से एक लिपस्टिक निकाली, तो शी इज अप्लाइंग ऑन हर लिप्स वेरी नाइसली, वेरी इजीली, वेरी कन्वीनियंटली। तो दैट मैन थॉट कि ये कमाल का आइडिया है, ऐसे ऐसे अगर मैं ग्लू स्टिक बना दूं जो स्पिल नहीं हो, जो गिरे नहीं, तो कहीं पे भी लगाया जा सकता है उसे। आया ना थॉट दिमाग में? ऐसे ही आता है। अभी एक कंपनी है जिसने टूथपेस्ट बनाई, आज तक भी हम उसी नाम से टूथपेस्ट को जानते हैं। कौन सी कंपनी है वो? हाँ, वो ब्रांड नेम क्या है? कोलगेट। वेरी गुड। हम शॉप पे भी जाएंगे तो क्या कहेंगे? भैया कोलगेट देना। हम ये नहीं कहते टूथपेस्ट देना, हमने नाम ही रख दिया उसका कोलगेट। कोलगेट ने देखा कि लोग जो है ना, दे हैव नॉट यू नो दे आर नॉट कमिंग अप विद मच ऑफ द डिमांड नाउ। अब ठीक है, जितनी डिमांड थी उतनी हो गई, अब डिमांड को कैसे बढ़ाएं? कितना बढ़िया तरीका सोचा उन्होंने। डू यू नो दैट? क्या? यस, जो उसकी वो जो डायमीटर है ना, उसको बड़ा कर दिया। उस डायमीटर को बड़ा करके क्या है, जब एक बार दबाते हो आप तो इतनी सारी टूथपेस्ट निकल आती है, जल्दी खत्म होएगी ना, राइट और रॉन्ग? फिर एक कंसेप्ट बहुत बढ़िया, डॉक्टर्स मिल गए, उनके साथ कहते शाम को भी ब्रश करो, शाम को भी कर लो। फिर एक और आइडिया आया, हर खाने के बाद ब्रश करो। मजा आ गया, 3 गुना डिमांड बढ़ गई कि नहीं? 3 times we could increase because of one small idea. So don't sit here in your college and just chit chat. Think about ideas, talk about ideas, discuss about ideas. Do you read newspaper every day? How many of you are reading newspaper every day? Every day, I'm talking about every day. Very nice. What is your name? Saurav. Anybody else? Any other Saurav in this room who reads newspaper every day? We are not moving towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. Sorry. सबसे पहले सुबह उठते ही सबसे पहले, जैसे आप अपने मम्मी पापा को गले लगाते हो ना, जब अखबार सुबह आता है ना, उसको ऐसे करके गले लगाते हो। ओ माय डियर, वेयर वर यू? और उसके बाद उसको खोलो, उसे प्यार से देखो और उसको पढ़ो। Every student must spend at least 1 hour on newspaper every day. हर रोज की बात करें, सब्सक्राइब भी नहीं कर रखा होगा बहुत सारे लोगों ने, और आता भी होगा तो कोई हिंदी न्यूज़पेपर आ गया और उसमें से हमने मनोरम कहानी भी पढ़ी और उसके बाद खुश। प्लीज स्टार्ट रीडिंग न्यूज़पेपर। हैव वन बिजनेस मैगजीन एवरी 15 days। बहुत सारी ऐसी मैगजीन आती है, फोर्टनाइटली आती है। यू मस्ट बाय वन बिकॉज यू वांट योर कंट्री टू बी आत्मनिर्भर, राइट? सर मेरे पास कितना टाइम हो रहा है? बिकॉज इफ आई स्टार्ट स्पीकिंग एंड फिर वो तो बहुत लंबा होगा। 5 more minutes because we have to take care of the time. which is the most important thing. कितनी देर न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ना है? 1 hour. You promise this? पक्का? 1 घंटे में बहुत कुछ पढ़ लोगे. पहले कुछ दिन तो बेटा समझ में ही नहीं आएगा. ठीक है? Let me tell you very clearly, very frankly. थोड़े दिन तो ऐसा लगेगा ये क्या पढ़ने के लिए दे दिया, and you will not enjoy it also. और ये कब तक चलेगा सिलसिला? At least 3 months. 3 महीने तक आपको अखबार जो है ना पढ़ना अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, जबरदस्ती पढ़ना आपको कि नहीं मुझे पढ़ना है, 1 घंटा तो पढ़ना ही है. 1 घंटा टाइम घड़ी से देख के बैठ जाए तो 1 घंटा रोज पढ़ना है, चाहे उसमें कुछ नहीं समझ में आ रहा, कोई बात नहीं. डिफिकल्ट वर्ड्स को अंडरलाइन करो, ठीक है, उसका मीनिंग देखो. गूगल के ऊपर मीनिंग भी मिलता है, प्रोनाउंसिएशन भी मिलती है, आप सेंटेंस भी बना सकते हो, उसको देखो, समझो. आफ्टर 3 months you will start understanding what is news. एक न्यूज आ रही है, जैसे अभी आपका ये सेमिनार होना था, थोड़े दिन पहले क्या आएगा कि yes, there is a curtain raiser. Curtain raiser means after 2 days, TITS is going to organize a conference on this topic. ये खबर आ गई 2 दिन पहले कॉन्फ्रेंस से, ठीक है. फिर उसके बाद कॉन्फ्रेंस वाले दिन कि आज ये हो रहा है, कॉन्फ्रेंस खत्म होने के बाद कल ये हुआ, तो एक न्यूज 3-4 बार आती है न्यूज़पेपर में, राइट. तो आप धीरे धीरे उस न्यूज को समझने लगेंगे, उसको फॉलो अप करने लगेंगे, आपको पता लगेगा कौन मिनिस्टर्स हैं, कौन क्या कर रहा है, किस कंट्री में क्या चीज चल रही है, हमें क्या करना है, हम किस पॉलिसी के अंदर क्या चीज कर सकते हैं. आज अगर आपको बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना हो तो आप कभी इधर मुंह देखते हो कि मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, देन यू स्टार्ट सीकिंग फॉर हेल्प. You don't know what to do. Rather, you should be telling other people what to do and how to start a business, how to run a business, because you are business management people. आपसे लोगों को सलाह लेनी चाहिए, आप खुद ही सलाह के मोहताज हैं कि भाई कैसे बिजनेस शुरू करें. आज आपको अच्छा लग रहा है कि मुझे ये आई विल गो एंड स्टार्ट माय ओन फूड जॉइंट, तो यू डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू. कौन से लाइसेंसेस चाहिए, कौन सी उसके अंदर मुझे परमिशन चाहिए, यू डोंट नो. सो यू शुड बी एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई दिस. ये तभी होगा बेटा जब रेगुलरली आप न्यूज़पेपर्स पढ़ेंगे, ठीक है. एंड आफ्टर 3 months यू विल स्टार्ट एनालाइजिंग द न्यूज. After 6 months of regular reading of newspapers, you'll be able to form opinions. 6 महीने के बाद आप अपना ओपिनियन फॉर्म कर सकेंगे, और उसके बाद आप लेटर्स टू दी एडिटर लिखने लायक हो जाएंगे. लेटर्स टू एडिटर जाते हैं ना, ठीक है, कभी अभी अखबारी कहाँ पढ़ा है, लिखोगे क्या. तो पैकेज कितना था आत्मनिर्भर भारत में? 20 लाख करोड़. क्या किया है हमने उस पैकेज को? हमने उसको कहाँ कहाँ पे बांटना शुरू किया? यस, वी आर doing business including MSMEs. Special economic and comprehensive package was given. So packages to cater to various sections including cottage industry, MSMEs, laborers, middle class industries, and then bold reforms across sectors will drive the country's push towards self-reliance. और हमें अपने local products बनाने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए. I know we are having big malls where you find all kinds of products. You go, बड़ी अच्छी लाइटिंग होती है, एसी चल रहा होता है, आप एक्स्ट्रा पैसे देके भी वो चीज खरीद के आते हो. आप किराने की शॉप के ऊपर बहुत चिक चिक करोगे, नहीं नहीं भैया इतने की, नहीं 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 ये कपड़ा इतने का नहीं लूंगी. जबकि मॉल के अंदर जितनी प्राइस लिखी होती है आप एक बार भी नहीं बोलते, और सामान भी खुद ही उठाते हो वहां पे. यू आर डूइंग डबल वर्क फॉर देम, यू आर देयर एम्प्लॉइज ऑल्सो. नहीं, आप जाते हैं किसी मॉल में, अपनी ट्रॉली खुद लेते हो, सारा सामान उसमें खुद डालते हो, खुद डाल के फिर काउंटर पे लेके आते हो, अपने आप बिलिंग कराते हो, और अपने आप ही कार्टन में भरते हो या बैग लेके आते हो, फिर घर ले आते हो. तो आप एक एम्प्लॉय का काम नहीं कर रहे हो उनके लिए. और जबकि आप किसी शॉप पे जाते हो, लोकल शॉप पे, वहां क्या होता है, आप सिर्फ बोलते हो ये लो लिस्ट, तो उधर जो छोटू होता है वो अंकल उसको दे देते हैं लिस्ट, छोटू ये सारा सामान ले आ, सारा पैक करके आपको पॉलिथीन में सारा सामान दे देते हैं. Have you seen the transition? You have become their employees and without any salary. You're working for them without any salary. और local में ऐसा नहीं है. So this Atmanirbhar Bharat is saying that you must be vocal for local. Local को भी आप इसमें support करें. I'm not going to go into much of the details because I just want you people to be understanding what we actually need. I just wanted a video to run here, but it cannot. So that was that you can overcome anything if and only if you love something enough. अगर आप अपनी country से प्यार करते हैं, you really want this country to grow, then I must say that you have to start thinking about how to make ourselves self-reliant. अच्छा, एक और चीज है, अगर आपके पास आपको खाना बनाना आता है तो इसका मतलब ये तो नहीं है ना कि आप अपने जो नेबर्स हैं उनकी इज्जत करना कम कर दोगे कि आज तो मुझे तो रोटी बनानी आ गई है, आज के बाद से तुम्हारी कोई वैल्यू नहीं है. ऐसा होता है? बल्कि आप क्या करते हो, आप अपने नेबर को ये कहते हो देखो मुझे भी बनानी आ गई, आओ जरा खा के देखो कैसी है. आज मैंने ये डिश बनाई है, आओ ट्राई करते हैं। तो सेल्फ रिलायंस का मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम अपने जो इम्पोर्टर्स हैं, जिनसे हम जो जिन कंट्री से इम्पोर्ट कर रहे हैं, उनको हम ये पुश कर देंगे कि यू गेट लॉस्ट। नो, रादर वी विल गिव दैट इन रिटर्न। जैसे आपको भी खाना बनाना आ गया, तो उसने भी आपको देख के सीख लिया, आपके नेबर ने। फिर क्या करेंगे, एक दिन आपने दाल बनाई, उसने सब्जी बनाई, एंड यू आर एक्सचेंजिंग। वाओ, सो इट इज अ विन विन सिचुएशन। सो डोंट थिंक कि अगर इंडिया ने सब कुछ सेल्फ रिलायंट हम हो गए तो हम किसी और देश से बात नहीं करेंगे, हम किसी और देश को नाता नहीं रखेंगे, ऐसे ही रहेंगे, बिकॉज वी आर नाउ ग्लोबलाइज्ड। अब ग्लोबलाइजेशन से वापस जाना बहुत मुश्किल है। जाएंगे तो फिर वैसे ही लोग हमें ये कह देंगे कि ये तो देश बेवकूफों का है। ऐसे नहीं करना है हमें। We have to be self-reliant and we have to have friends outside. We have to have good relations with our neighboring countries and the countries across the globe. वो भी रखना है हमें, but then we also have to think that we have to take our country forward. तो आपके बाद जब आप कोई भी प्रोडक्ट लेने जाएंगे, उस पर जब मेक इन इंडिया आने लगेगा तो आपको खुशी होनी चाहिए, तब तक आपको नींद नहीं आनी चाहिए। नहीं आएगी ना नींद? आएगी? जाके ही सो जाएगी। अभी थोड़ी देर में बोलो, थोड़ी देर आप और बोलते रहे, हम जाके सो जाएंगे। ऐसे ही होगा। Are you going to sleep? कहते हैं कि जो सुख में साथ देते हैं उन्हें रिश्ते कहते हैं। जो सुख में साथ देते हैं उन्हें रिश्ते कहते हैं, और जो दुख में साथ देते हैं उन्हें क्या कहते हैं? फरिश्ते। ठीक है, तो आपको अपनी कंट्री के साथ हर एक सिचुएशन में यू हैव टू स्टैंड अप एंड यू हैव टू मीट इट्स रिक्वायरमेंट्स, राइट? सो यू वर्क फॉर आत्मनिर्भर भारत। ओके, जस्ट स्टैंड अप फॉर अ मिनट। एक बार खड़े हो जाइए सभी अपनी अपनी सीटों पे, एंड प्लेज, टेक अ प्लेज that we all will work towards making Atmanirbhar Bharat. We all will work towards making Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Professor Divya Bharat. She has quoted wonderfully the 5 pillars of this Atmanirbhar Bharat: economy, infrastructure, system, demography, and demand. We hope that whatever we have taken the pledge, we will follow it systematically. Thank you, ma'am, for the valuable insights to us. Now, I would like to invite Professor P.C. Pandey for his keynote address to the gathering. Please, sir.
Thank you very much indeed, and I'm truly grateful to have been invited by this Diwali. I must tell each one of you that I have been here, including this one, 3 times in the last 30 years. So you could probably recall that I came here first time in 2004, in 1990, and then 2014, and then I happened to be back here. So I'm so grateful, and especially to the convener of the conference, Professor Verma, for giving me this opportunity to be able to come here and say a few thoughts and see to it as to what could be really learn together and do together. So, having said it, let me go straight to the topic of the conference, which is Atmanirbhar Bharat, the vibrant growth in Indian economy. I mean, this is a very complex characterization in terms of how do we really talk about self-reliance, what does it all entail, how do we really live a portion of it in our individual capacities, which is our own individual responsibility, and how do we really do things which might mean going beyond our own capacity and responsibility and do it in a more collaborative, in a more interactive, in a more vibrant way, whereby we do something but we depend on somebody for a part of it, and vice versa. And I completely agree with my predecessor who said that, look, when we really go back into the history of centralized. It was a fifth five-year plan. It began to slowly talk about how will India gradually grow and sustain and continue to move through centralized planning. That was the whole idea when the fifth five-year plan was presented by the then Planning Commission, which is Niti Aayog now. The whole idea was that how will India grow, develop, and sustain through centralized planning process. And that whole idea was topsy-turvy. And it was settled that any country or any society cannot grow and develop and sustain on the top if it were to do everything in a very centralized way. So which meant that if you really want to grow, if you really want to develop, and if you really want to sustain the growth and development, you need to decentralize, meaning it cannot be done by one person, one agency, all the time, everywhere. And therefore, you need to cut it down to the pieces and give everything which comes out of the pieces to those agencies, those people, to those sectors of economy, which will have better propensity to grow, develop, and then through a decentralized planning process, you could sustain it for a fairly long time. I mean, giving one very crude example, could be that if somebody in our home does one thing every time, he or she then can probably do it for a few months, for a few days, maybe for a few years. Beyond certain point in time, centralized process will not be able to yield the kind of outcome. It will be growth driven, development driven, and which could also be sustained. So two things got settled from 5-year plan onwards until 12th 5-year plan, and then we had Niti Aayog. Two things got settled, and there is no debate about it. One, is pivotal foundation to growth and development, which is sustainable. Secondly, when you grow and develop, you need to put people, ordinary people, in the front and center of what you do. And this is how your economy grows. And this is not only Indian economy, the history of economic development globally tells us that if we follow these two things, decentralize the process, and keep people or the public and masses at the center of this growth and development, which one could be sustained over a longer period of time, you end up achieving more than what you might have thought through when you try to do everything using one agency, one person, one community, one system. And this is how global economies have grown. If you really go back to the history of how India came to realize that, look, you can no longer keep on doing what you have been doing by doing everything in-house. And therefore, a need was felt that the country goes to a process whereby you open up, you decentralize, you bring private players, and you open up, you liberalize. So that is what really happened in 1991. We oftentimes compare China with India, and I have been doing it for several years. I've been to China several times, and I'm born and brought up in India. The economy is a better place than your own country, but when I find people comparing India and China, these are two very different categories altogether. We are fundamentally different from each other. System, processes, way of doing things, ideology, system, judiciary, media, values, liberalism. We are totally different, and we should not really even attempt comparing the two countries together. that would be a gross erroneous mistake if we were really do it. China just started everything in 1979. We were around the same time thinking of opening up. It of course happened in the case of India in 1991. There's opening up the economy, liberalizing the economy, and bringing private players. And Ron, if you recall, was the first energy company, US energy companies came to India on sovereign guarantee. We had not even begun to run the war, and we thought that, look, by getting someone from somewhere on sovereign guarantee plan, we are going to make electricity much more available for rapid or more rapid industrialization, starting from Maharashtra. It all flopped in failure, maybe nowhere. And Iran, on the other hand, went bankrupt in the US, and we still, quote Enron as a case study when we study any program, especially master's program in management. So now, cutting back to where I started, self-reliance, 5-year plan onwards, we began to talk, and now we are at the stage that we are probably beginning to do it in a greater depth and with greater vigor. And self-reliance to me is nothing beyond the two things. Simplified. Are we really going to work independent of everybody else? I do everything, which means going back to centralized planning process, which India had, and later on being threatened with debate that centralized planning is not the right planning to do. To decentralize for people the front and center of any growth and development. And therefore, the basic assumption in any self-reliance debate or discussion is it about independence, being independent of everybody, or being empowered while getting or remaining connected with everybody? So that's the debate you should not really forget about it. Otherwise, you will go into every corner and nook and alliance, you will never ever be able to figure out what do we really want out of such alliance that we have coined. Is it being independent of everybody, or empowering ourselves with our people, with our material, with our natural resources, with more efficiency, with more hard work? How do we really go about achieving the growth and development? And I take you back to 1945 very quickly, when after the World War II, Bretton Woods institutions were born, meaning World Bank and IMF. You must read it. When you read or hear that World Bank has estimated per capita for India 2324 at 2,000 US dollar at PPP, and then IMF will come and say that India's growth, economic growth, for the same physical year would be 6.8, 6.9. So these two institutions after World War II began to also bring economies and countries and people together to see to it that while countries keep on growing and developing, and if they develop well, then the global economy develops well. And that becomes the starting point for people to make more money. And not only making more money, but saving more money, which means in economics, it is not very worthy of talking about income or income equality. It is very worthy and foundational in nature. When we talk about disposable income, I have 10 rupees. Do I eat all the 10 rupees and save nothing? Or I spend 8 rupees and save 2 rupees? And saving, and national saving, as a concept is a very, very important concept. And no country has grown anywhere around the world if people in that country did not begin to save money. And you will probably appreciate it when you read some fundamental concepts of economic theory.
Those things are very, very important. Don't take my words for granted. Whatever I'm telling you is honky dory and you just need to go and follow it. And therefore, self-reliance means that we are not independent of anybody. We are all together, but we are trying to ensure or make sure that whatever we have, factors of production, if you read, you find that the factors of production that we have, it will be very different from what China will have, what US will have, what countries in Southeast Asia will have. They're very, very different, and therefore, how do we really make the best use of what we have, especially through means of production, which will include everything, capital, land, machinery, manpower, so on and so forth. And therefore, when we heard our government in 2020, especially PM Modi, when he said that we need to really figure a way out in which we are going to ensure that we do not excessively depend on anybody, but we also make sure that we keep interconnected and stay interconnected with everybody around. That was the whole idea, not that, you do everything on your own and you have nothing to do with it. But it was part empowering yourself and part ensuring that means of production that you have could work at the optimal levels, giving you the cushion when there are vulnerabilities like COVID-19. Maybe tomorrow mass migration due to climate change could happen. Maybe earthquakes will come and take your house away. You may simply not have any injection to take, as we had in COVID, to safeguard ourselves. And therefore, it's very, very important that we realize where we are and what do we really mean by this whole characterization of self-reliance. Let me quickly go back. I will not really take much time. 4 or 5 very quick things that you need to really keep yourself all the time thinking. Even if you don't do anything at this stage, I will give you benefit of doubt. But if you do not think about what you need to think at this stage, then I would really have some serious questions on your integrity. And these are the following. First, energy. I told you, when India opened up in 1991, it was realized that we cannot progress unless we go on a more rapid pace of industrialization. And therefore, we got it wrong on sovereign guarantee, it didn't really work, and we are back to square one. But if you really look at energy in today's context and time, you will have the same formula that we cannot really grow economically and sustain the growth that we achieve when we start with this, unless and until we have enough power, electricity, which will really fuel the process of rapid industrialization. And when you industrialize, more often than not, you are going to grow. And then you need to really think, how do you really sustain that growth? So energy is the one thing that you all need to think. Will it be solar? Will it be hydro? Will it be something generated by oil and gas? Or green hydrogen tomorrow? Think about it and see to it that whatever you do with what you think should be in terms of how do you really reduce your carbon footprint. Which means if you use solar, your carbon footprint is substantially lower compared to when you use something which might be driven by oil and gas. Keep on thinking about energy, because this is a very, very foundational area that will take India to the next growth trajectory. Second, technology and innovation. Well, I mean, if you have a technology which is very expensive, like Europe and the US, and if you go there and buy the same kind of products which you buy either in China or in Asia or somewhere in Africa or in India, will find that technology that you buy in the US and the Europe at least 20 times more than what you put at the end of buying in Asian and African markets. So be frugal in terms of what you do. And you can't be frugal unless and until you deploy technology and innovation to the optimal level, keeping price low, and then doing things on a scale. This is how Chinese capture the world. So even if you go to US, you go to buy anything, you'll find Chinese goods being sold in US. And that is why Americans are very jittery when it comes to stealing themselves for a conflict with China. They will have a very bad time if they were to go and do anything with China because they get very cheap imports from China. And then they say they're very precise foreign exchange. So they said we will save our foreign exchange, and if we can get something cheaper from China and India, why not? Thirdly, financial systems. You might be reading and hearing what is really happening in the US, UK, and Europe. And we're also at a time when we are facing very tough times. Things have become very expensive. Cost of living crisis is going up. Ukraine-Russia war is going on. So energy is too expensive. Of course, India is getting it from Russia, so we are still safe. But go and see what is happening in Europe and the US. If you and a family of 5 in Europe, I lived in Berlin for 5 years, my friends called me and said, look, now what we do is that we all assemble together in one room and then heat that room, because we can't heat the whole house. So you have to really remember that whatever you do, keep on saving money. If you have 10 rupees, save 2 rupees. Without saving, no country, as I said in the beginning, no country has ever been able to prosper with price. So keep that in your mind, and also see that your systems are robust, they are better capitalized, and they're more liquid, so that the next morning you don't wake up and go to a bank in India, and you don't get your deposits there. So that is something which is very, very important. Now, entrepreneurship is very, very important. I mean, maybe some of you are studying and test your MBA. You don't really like to go and do somebody's job. You might do something which is your own, and then you generate employment and, give employment to people coming to you, and then you also contribute to the economy some. And you might have either heard of it, but India today, out of 1,200 unicorns around the world, India has roughly about 100 unicorns. Unicorns would mean companies, especially startups, whose value is in the range of 1 billion or more. So you can clearly see how rapidly countries around the world are growing, and India is also taking the lead with regard to diversifying, not decoupling, in terms of how this will grow and stay, in terms of sustaining that growth and development. And finally, it's very important that whatever education that we get, we have NEP 2020, and I will leave it to Advalsa because there can't be anybody better than him. But what I could really ask each one of you to focus on what you have been doing. Go to the library, study hard, try to find solutions which are frugal and cost effective, which could probably be done on a scale and impact. So if you do something here and there, small things, you're not really going to achieve anything at all. And therefore, to me, self-reliance is nothing but empowering yourself and provisioning for bad times that you don't really keep on getting hit if something bad has come to you, while remaining interconnected with your friends, with your neighbors, with the world economy, and see to it that these things, when we all do it together, it has a very deep and very, very foundational impact on eradication of extreme poverty, which then will lead to development at PPP scale. And if you really see what Chinese did in 2020, at the peak of COVID, they announced that extreme poverty is not existent at all in China. So nobody is poor in China because extreme poverty has gone, because they have tried to create scaling impact, produce things, export it, got foreign exchange reserves, which are absolutely thrilling to see. Forget about China. I now live in Taipei, a small place. I don't call Taiwan as a country because, it's not safe to call Taiwan as a country because they have, this overall umbrella of China, which really will cover them. So it's just wrong to call Taiwan as a country. But if you go to Taiwan ever, I can tell you, Taiwan can rival any city in Europe at any level. I could not believe my eyes. Their per capita is $32,000, 3 times that of China. Their infrastructure is very well developed, and they are a prosperous country of 24 million people. So there is not any scalar impact, but they make the money only by doing two things. One, they manufacture chips, and then they produce the largest selling bicycles. And their foreign exchange reserve, they take a pride in saying India has foreign exchange reserve of $500 billion. Country of 24 billion, a country of 24 million people has a foreign reserves which are set at $576 billion. How do you really go and figure out lessons that we can learn from countries which are small? The scale is pretty good. They're doing precision good, and they're trying to not only grow and develop, but putting more money in the pockets of their own people, and they have been trying to sustain the growth and development, which they have been achieving the last 30 years at more than 10%. At more than 10% growth rate every year. So if India has to reach there, and if there are some lessons to be learned, India will have to develop and grow in double digits at least for 25 to 30 years. And you people sitting here today, the student community, will really have to work hard. Because we are a country where we have 450 million students in the classroom, right from nursery until postgraduate. And if this youth power could be converted into a rich dividend, and if you all work pretty hard, I am very, very confident that India will not be in compared to China, but very soon we will gallop beyond our order in the committee of nations at 5 to that of second or first. Because all these economies in the West are probably going to stop growing, and countries from Asia and Africa, and India has a very, very strong possibility of leading the pack in not very long distant time in the future, but in less than 20, 25 years from now. So everything rests on you, work hard, think innovatively, and go for it, which is larger than scale, larger than size, and could probably create more momentum by creating more income and more value. And part of that has got to be kept and not to be squandered. If you earn something and you squander, like Europeans and Americans, if you ever get into that kind of mode, then I can tell you only dome will be still and prosperity will be for everyone. So I wish you all a very good luck. And I'll be very happy in whatever capacity I could be of some help and support. Whatever little I know, I'll be very happy to pass it on to you people. But the whole idea is begin to think, even if you're not ready to act. So thank you very much indeed for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to be able to share some thoughts and some ideas. And I'll be very open to meet afterwards. And if you would have any questions or queries, I'll be very happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the valuable insight on the growth, development, and the sustainable development for the India. He has really focused on the parameter of the students, the young, the youth generation who is sitting over here. All things are totally depend on you. If you are going to be evoked, only then India has become the self-reliant. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request if Professor MC Garg permits that he is having some issues regarding health. He just came to know yesterday. If it is perfectly okay, then I would like to invite Professor MC Garg for the special address for the gathering.
Chief guest of the function, Professor K.K. Agarwal, dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, and my dear students. I am thankful to Professor Sharma and the director for giving me an opportunity to interact with you. But I'm sorry, I will not be in a position to speak for a longer time because of my some health issues. Friends, I believe that there are 3 E's which are important in building the Atmanirbhar Bharat. The first E is education, the second E is employment, and the third E is the entrepreneur. And whole of the Atmanirbhar Bharat, to me, depends upon these 3 E's. Our first 2 keynote speakers, they have discussed in detail about the Atmanirbhar Bharat. I'm going to discuss the challenges of this Atmanirbhar Bharat. The first challenge is the technology. Friends, this technology, this industrial automation, this artificial intelligence, they are changing the ways of industrial work. And they are making many of the jobs unneeded. We have to keep our pace with the latest industrial technology. And if we are not in a position to keep our pace with the industrial technology, we will be out. The second challenge is high dropouts at various stages of education. In India, there is particularly in the school education, there is a high dropout. No doubt in the higher education also there is a higher dropout, and the UGC have come up with the online education. But I'm sorry to say, the online education is very costly affair in our country. Third, I will talk about the MSME. Because MSME is the second largest employment generating sector in India. But Indian MSME, they are facing unfair competition from the foreign companies. If we have to have the Atmanirbhar Bharat, we have to address the problems of the MSMEs. particularly with respect to the financing and marketing. Fourth, there is a large-scale migration of different companies into India. We have to improve our ranking. No doubt we have done very well in the past. Our rank that was 61 in the year 2021. We have to have improved this rank, and we have to have at least a rank of 25. The another problem is that rate of registration charges of the property is very high in our country. We have to reduce it. And our Prime Minister 2-3 years back have told us and said that he is going to make the changes in the labor laws. But still, we have to make the labor laws more effective. And lastly, what I will say, the Atmanirbhar Bharat falls short of sustainability, addressing two big crises. And those two big crises are the air pollution and climate change. If we are considering these challenges, no doubt, I'm sure one day my country will be Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for showing the challenges in front of us to become a Atmanirbhar Bharat. We have to focus on education, employment, and the entrepreneurial sector. Thank you, sir. Now, I'm sure this interaction with our chief guest will be a valuable learning experience for all of us. With that, I would like to invite Professor K.K. Garg on the podium and address our esteemed gathering. Let's give a huge round of applause to welcome the next personality.
Professor MC Garg, with whom we worked together in GJUSR in the initial 3 years, very first 3 years of the GJUSR. Professor Puran Chandra Pandey, I'm meeting after, I think, after COVID, so maybe for the first time, but we have shared the dais several times. A very serious thinker in the country of policy. Dr. Divya Banhan, meeting for the first time, but the way she interacted with the students and brought home the point is praiseworthy of any teacher. Professor Tyagi, director of this institution, Professor Sharma, conference convener, Charumani, coordinator of the conference, some of the very distinguished delegates, very senior professors, faculty of this institution, and my dear students. Because we are running late, so I'll be speaking for a little while, but I'll be addressing my whatever little few minutes I spent more towards the students, because economics says that will be the maximum returns possible having addressed you. Friends, you are very fortunate to have been born at a time when you are born, because the time of your graduation and making contributions to this country is the best ever in the history. It has never been that opportunist time for you to strive hard and be successful. Please note my words, strive hard and be successful. Without working hard, you can never be successful. But there were opportunities when we worked hard and still were not very successful because technology was not there to support us. Our environment was not there to support the students. But today, all I can assure you is the technology is waiting for you. It's first time in that I think I'm the old guy, so I'm from technology. It's first time in the history of civilization that technology is there waiting to be utilized. Otherwise, we always had a problem and then started thinking what technology will help me to solve the problem. Today, the situation is technology is saying, why don't you use me? Can't you think of a problem to use me for that? That is the situation today. And therefore, my dear young boys and girls, for studying in a prestigious institution, that time is yours. Just learn to dream. Just learn to dream. Why can't this problem be solved? Think of a problem and just don't say whether I can solve it or not. Ask yourself, why can it not be solved? Why can't I do it? And technology will come to your help. Environment will come to your help and you will be able to do that. That's the most beautiful part of it. You are studying in this college and I'm just becoming very nostalgic. I started my career from REC Kurukshetra, which is now called NIT Kurukshetra. And at that time in Haryana, there were only two engineering colleges. One where I was studying in Kurukshetra and sort of teaching in Kurukshetra, and second was this textile college in Bhiwani. And there were different branches. We had electrical, mechanical, civil there, and textile there. So that was all in Haryana available at that time. And I remember the glamorous days of the journey of this college. Textile engineering of this college was a nationally recognized institution. We contributed to the whole country, the graduates of this college. Gradually, the education advanced, many things happened. So some changes do take place and things are probably little less favorable as they used to be. But you have the potential still. As a matter of fact, everybody in the country has enough potential to be able to do that. And I, for one, have never believed in life that money is a very serious question. I have always believed that the people who take recourse to money as a constraint for development are, I won't say they're lying, but they're not fully truthful. I always quote an example of Professor C.V. Raman, the only Nobel laureate in sciences from this country, the only Indian Nobel laureate in science, Professor C.V. Raman, got a Nobel Prize working in his laboratory where the total equipment cost was 250 rupees. So working on an equipment which was just 250 rupees, he could work to the level of getting a Nobel Prize. I'm not saying that we don't need money. All what I'm saying is we can do enough without money also if we have the willpower to do that. And my dear students, you are fortunate. We have enough money in the country, reasonably well, and you have enough talent in you to be able to do that. Only thing what you will have to do is you will have to change your mindset. Because this traditional method of working will not take us where we want you to take India. Somebody gave a quote which is wonderful. He says, you cannot use the same methodologies to solve a problem which created that problem. The problems are created by some situations, some technology, some man, some climate. Problems are created. But if you want to use the same knowledge to solve those problems, you fail. You will have to create new knowledge to solve those problems. And that is where I have maximum hope on my young students in this country. Having traveled all over the world, I can say with full confidence that the Indian students are by far the best in the whole world as far as intuition is concerned, as far as creativity is concerned, You can very well ask me then why creativity did not happen in this country. I think all of us have to share the blame. We built our education system so suffocated, so constrained, that you had no scope for creativity at all. In this subject, in this semester, you will study only these subjects. In this semester, you will study only these subjects. This subject will have 5 units. First unit will have 2 questions. One question will have 1 mark. My God, we broke the education system into micro elements like anything. And you did not have any scope for creativity at all. If you ever had to think differently, you would fail. And if you would fail, why would you try that? And I'm accepting that we, senior academicians in the country, did not stand up to your needs and kept on refining the system. I saw people very proudly giving lectures. Sir, we have designed the examination system so well that in 12th class, there will be 10 questions for 1 mark each, then 20 questions for 2 marks each, then 30 questions for that. And they were very proud of it. And with the result, many of you got 99%, 98%, and still struggling for what to do in life. Because you never understood that. You were never allowed to understand. I remember my school days, my professor of English walked into the class, and when he was teaching, it came apple of discord, an idiom you might have heard. And he just stopped. He says, but students, why apple of discord? Why not a school of discord? And he spent full lecture on that. Today, if a teacher does that, he may be called indisciplined. A show cause notice will be issued to him that you wasted the class time. But these were the teachers who really built in the creativity in the students. I remember another teacher still who came to the class, fairly senior in age, teacher of chemistry. He walked into the class, comes into the class and says, takes my name, says, get up. When the teacher asks you to get up, you feel something shaken at that time. How you got up? Says, go out and come in 2 minutes. There was no question of asking the teacher why. So I went out and for in 1 minute I came in. Say, no, not like this. Go out again, have a round of the playground of the institution, and then come in. I came in after about 10 minutes. He said, you had a good round? I said, yes. He said, now you tell the class how the climate inside and the climate outside is different. That was the method to bring home the point that a crowded environment is not the good environment for climate. Today, you can't dare do that. And therefore, those points are never brought home to the level we can. I was chairman National Board of Accreditation till recently. I went for a visit to a university and I said, and some boys and girls were sitting outside the laboratory doing very good projects. I asked them, why are you staying outside the laboratory? The answer was, sir, we feel more free to work outside the laboratory. Now, please read between the words. Boys and girls are the same. They're doing a project, but why they feel more comfortable to work outside than inside, we have to ask ourselves. And if that be so, why can't I allow them to work at home and give the credit for that? Why can't I do that? Why should I insist that the project must be done in the laboratory, class must be done? I was chairman of another visiting committee which approved a deemed university, which is now one of the best deemed universities in the country. I'm talking 30 years ago. When I went to that university, the vice chancellor proudly told me, sir, our students are very good. So we run some schools also, like many people do. And they brought in some students of the school. He said, sir, our university students have networked the complete school by themselves without taking help of a person, TCS or anything. So they are very good. I said, yes, I must track those students. And then I smile and I ask the Vice Chancellor, they network the whole school. You agree, you appreciate, and you still want them to write a theory examination on networking, then only you will pass them in theory. That is the idea. Why can't I give them credits for at least that networking paper which they have demonstrated practically? And this was always allowed, my students, my dear colleagues. This was never disallowed. Our vice chancellors and academic administrators were not bold enough to take the decision which can take the students forward on a forward-looking path. And that is so. According to me, the best advantage of new national education policy is that it enables some freedom of growth. This freedom was always built in, according to me, and I have made some of these people know. I made so many of these beautiful provisions as an example of it. But now these facilities and freedoms have come in writing the national education policy, and therefore you must ask for something. That instead of studying this subject, would like to do this project. And sir, if you don't do it, we'll take it from IIT because the academic work. The teachers will have to work hard to your satisfaction. Teachers are not supposed to teach what they want to teach. Teachers are supposed to teach what you want to do. And you show them. And in another convocation address last month, I told, मुझे क्या पढ़ाना है वो शिक्षा है, मुझे बच्चे को क्या बनाना है वो शिक्षा है. We have to first decide what we want to do, and then design the curriculum accordingly. And particularly when I'm talking to mathematics, the flexibility was built in, so much flexibility. It is the only course in the country, MBA is the only course in the country where you have diversity of students from commerce background, from science background, from engineering background, but no management institution made use of this diversity to give the projects which could use this diversity very effectively. So this diversity remained the diversity of paper. MBA was the only education where mother and daughter could study together. There was no way. See the foreign university to take advantage of this. But we never do. Case study was talked about. Dr. Divya was talking about water. The very first case study in very first case study in Harvard School. Very first known case study was Professor walked into the class with his bottle in hand, and he says, "Well, the world has started to learn water bottles. We will soon have a crisis of what to do with these empty water bottles. Let us today discuss what are the possible uses of empty water bottles." And he spent 90 minutes discussing that. That's a case study. Today, we believe even case studies can be what my predecessor did and what students answered last year. The same answers can become case studies. If we do that, the case study doesn't remain a case study. Unless you learn to live with unknown problems, unless you challenge your students with unknown problems, unless, my dear students, you yourself challenge yourself with unknown problems. I have always said management institutions, why can't you assign some students the project of management of the process? Why can't you assign students management of their accounts if you can afford it? Why can't we ask the students some management exercises which are truly basic, and they will be much better? So, my dear students, you have to learn to be living with unknown problems, and we say Atmanirbhar Bharat. It's okay, but it's not not something which never happened. Actually, you have to be Atmanirbhar for survival. And if you are not Atmanirbhar, you can't survive. And that is, we were not surviving. We depended on everything from abroad. Obviously, not a survival. I remember when I used to deliver lectures in
Professor
Kalam's lab in near Hyderabad. And he was working on invention of a very lightweight material for design of missiles because weight is very critical factor there. Then research was done, material was invented, and missiles were made, and we are already working well. But what I'm trying to tell you, boys and girls, is that lightweight material research for missiles did not confine itself to missiles, and today the best use of that lightweight material is to design calipers for the children for artificial limbs. Because the weight of the artificial limb has reduced like anything, making the life of the children much better. So research done at one point is useful where is a question mark, and that is where I challenge. You may not research everything. You can even research the brain. This thing is lying here, can I do it better? What can I do? Innovation and creativity only is, well, this is a mind. Can I make it smaller? Can I make it more beautiful? Can I make it more cheaper? All these are innovations. And they are all helpful to you. And these innovations can be as small as anything on earth. You will be surprised that one of the best innovations we still have is when somebody put a small piece of eraser on the back of the pencil so that the child doesn't have to take two things. As simple as that. But improves the life of many children. Instead of remembering to take two things to the school, he has to take only one thing. That's an innovation. Innovation could be any smallest possible thing. Today we actually worked on how the toothpaste people befooled everybody to create their profits. They had a right to do that. So why can't we be innovative anywhere and everywhere? I give an example, probably one of the worst species which we feel in the world is the crow. And you have all read the story of the thirsty crow. Imagine if the crow was not innovative. He would have died of thirst, there was no other solution. Only because he was innovative, today's engineers and doctors may not be able to think of the solution which the crow thought, etc. They somehow pick the stone and quench your thirst. So innovation, fortunately, is not a very linear function of degrees. So whether you have studied from IIM or from Calgary or Harvard or from TIT&S or even Worst College, you can be innovative, successful man. Innovation is not a directly dependent function of degrees or the CGPA or the grade point. You can be innovative if you decide to be innovative. And the only method you have to learn to decide to be innovative is always ask a question to yourself. Can I do this better? This garden, can I do it in a better way? Anything you see, you just ask yourself, can I do it? Ask yourself the questions. One of the worst part of our academic system is we never allow the students to ask questions. Somehow we believe only we have a right to ask questions. We are teachers. So we only have the right to ask questions. You can only answer. That has been probably the worst element of our academic system. Because you learn by asking questions. I'll give you an example. In 1943, Nobel Prize was given to Rabi. Obviously, when you get a Nobel Prize, you're surrounded by media people. Media people surrounded him, says, Dr. Rabi, whom will you give the credit for your Nobel Prize? This is a typical question. Dr. Rabi said, my mother. Sir, is she a great physicist? No. She doesn't even know what science is. Right? She doesn't know what science is, what physics is. How do you give credit to your mother for the Nobel Prize? He says, when other children used to go to the school and come back from the school, their mothers will ask, what did you learn at the school? My mother would always ask me, Rabi, did you ask a good question from a teacher today? And therefore, every day before going to the school in the evening, I'll search some good questions, which I can ask the teachers next day
impress them, impress my class fellows, and impress my mother. And I learned the art of framing good questions. That has got me the Nobel Prize. Because research can only be done if you make a habit of framing good questions. If you can't frame good questions, you can't do good research. And that's an irony of our research. Even our research advisors sometimes want you to follow what they want you to follow. That is where the problem comes. One of the professors abroad told me, Professor Agarwal, whenever Indian students come to our university, they are best in the research. But we take 6 months to make them researchers. I said, Professor, what do you mean? He said, for first 6 months, we only have to teach them forget about this gesture philosophy. Find faults with us. Find faults with seniors. Faults mean academic faults. Sir, this is your research today, this can improve further. This has this drawback. Now, unless we teach them this, they don't become researchers. And we take about 1 semester to bring them to that level. I was interested in this subject. I started studying some papers, and I came across a paper by a psychologist. He said a child of 4, on the average, asks about 73 questions per day. Well, I still don't understand, but some of the young mothers here might be able to. A child of 4 asks about 73 questions per day. He says these questions most of the time are trivial. Mama, even if it's cold, why do you want me to wear clothes? That's a question. Why don't you want me to go near the stairs? If I fall, what will happen? So what? But 73 questions per day, and as a senior professor of the country, I'm pretty sure, right from your entire school education to the PhD education, we do not allow you to ask 73 questions. If that be so, inquisitiveness cannot come, knowledge cannot grow. Knowledge can grow exponentially only by questions. Answer is a linear expansion of knowledge, and linear expansion of knowledge will not make us happy. We will become Atmanirbhar only when we go to the exponential expansion. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. That's exponential. That's the only method to go to Atmanirbhar. And my dear student, I have full faith in you, I have full hope in you, and I'm sure it will happen. But the only thing is you have to learn to challenge yourself. When we say Atmanirbhar, that does not mean we don't want to depend upon anyone else. See, even as a child, when the child is born, he is very dependent on the mother first and then on the family member. He is born as a dependent creature. Then very soon, he wants to be independent. He wants to go and play and try out new things himself. He wants to be independentness is his grace. And we are very happy we are independent. We are independent of the school now. I find many students from India have started going abroad. Only they want to be independent of their family. They have nothing else in mind. Independence becomes the case. But real progress in life comes when you become interdependent. When you say, okay, I give you this, you give me this. That's where the progress comes. And according to me, Atmanirbhar only means, well, we will exchange knowledge, but on mutual terms, on respectable terms. And India is now poised for that. We are able to do that. And Atmanirbharta will be from country to country. It cannot be universal hypothesis written in a management book. I'll stop by just giving one example which I had in my life. I was invited to German, erstwhile German Communist DDR for a keynote address. And I was state guest, therefore Vice Chancellor was taking me around and taking care of me. When I was taken round, I found in that capital town many roads, highways built of bricks and stones. I asked my colleague, Vice Chancellor, I said, what the hell have you done? You have made these roads of bricks and stone. Why not bitumen? So this way your tire will go out very soon. He says, Professor Agarwal, I agree with you. But Tires are made in our own country. Bitumen we have to export. So we don't mind spending more on tires, but saving on bitumen. So Atmanirbhar will be within the context of India, and we are all proud Indians. And you youngsters are prouder Indians, I'm sure, because you have many more years to see. So look forward to the interests of the society in this country, farmer of this country. We have done very little by way of technology and management for the farmers of this country. Much more has to be done, and it's possible to be done. Only science and technology and management can solve their problem, not the politicians of the institutions. It has to be done. But our problems have to be solved by us. Nobody else will solve it. And our problem is unique. Every country's problems are unique. What suits another country may not suit us. Even medicine, knowledge, way of imparting knowledge. We want to learn in another environment. We celebrate festivals in our own manner and we learn it. So, my dear students, Atmanirbhar, yes, we will become on your STEM. I have only 3 subsets of Atmanirbhar. Number 1, Atmavishwas. Learn to believe in yourself. That's a very serious job of Indian students. Even if they're capable, they'll say, I'm not sure whether I'll do it. I talk to many American students, even if he doesn't know, sir, I'll do it. And that Atmavishwas is very important. And number 2, Atmadhyana. You have to learn to study yourself. And this country is known for it. I think if you have heard the stories of Mahabharata, when Ashwatthama was refused to be educated with Dronacharya, he says, sir, but I want to learn only from you. He says, but I won't take you as a student. He says, okay, doesn't matter. In your statue is enough for me to be a guru. But I will become. And he became the best disciple. So self-learning has been a case in this country. So Atmavishwas, Atmadhyana, and finally, Atmachintan. You have to critically analyze the facts and figures and think of various alternatives of solution of the problem. And I'm very sure that you will be able to. You have a 2 days beautiful conference. I have seen the speakers and the topics. I'm sure you will enjoy the feast, but after 2 days, don't stop at that. Make this as a habit. Challenge yourself, challenge your surroundings, challenge everything, and see whether you can make a marginal improvement. Sometimes 1% improvement is enough to change the shape of the country. Just 1% improvement. But where you do it, how you do it is important. I'll stop by last story. There's a company called 3M. It is the most innovative company in the world. They had a scientist, chemical engineer, whom they assigned to design and chemical adhesive so that they can put 2 ply sheets together. The boy worked for 2 years. One day he found he had done it. So he put the 1 sheet, adhesive, another sheet, went home very happy that he had done it. Next morning he came, he just wanted to test, and the 2 sheets came apart. He was frustrated like anything. He went to his boss with his resignation. Sir, I have failed you. I have failed you. I was very happy that I have successfully researched, given the so much environment by the company. I have spent so much money of the company, but I failed and I want to put in my papers. The boss said, the beauty of 3M company is that you are not allowed to put in your papers when you fail. Only you can put in the paper when you succeed and not. Now you have 2 assignments. Number 1, keep on working on that problem and see whether you can find an adhesive. Second problem is, now once you have invented a weak adhesive, think, can you do anything with a weak adhesive? And that boy came up with an idea of the stick-on labels. So we all use that yellow, pink, small strips of paper, stick-on label. And you needed a very weak adhesive for that. If it was a strong adhesive, you would spoil the paper. And the 3M company has made the maximum profit in life
on way of this royalty from the stick-on notes all over the world, which is a paid research. So research is never paid if your mind isn't paid. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. I was also listening one video from Professor KK Agarwal once a time, and he was focusing on the NEP education policy. That it's a, like not a challenge for the student itself, it's a challenge for the teachers. As sir has also told that the teacher should not offer what we are having in our minds. What we have studied, it's not like that we are just offering the same to the students. The challenge is that we have to offer what the students are expecting from us. So it's like an innovative approach. You should come forward to every teacher and just try to ask that what you want to learn. And teacher is going to be update themselves. Otherwise, the same kind of plate is going to be offered for a longer period of time. So it's like, it's up to you students just to make India self-reliant. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Professor G.K. Tyagi to adorn a shawl to our chief guest, Professor K.K. Agarwal. Have a big round of applause. Thank you, sir. Now, I also request Professor S.K. Sharma to present a memento to our chief guest, Professor K.K. Agarwal. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request to Professor S.K. Sharma to adorn a shawl to our guest of honor, Professor M.C. Garg. Thank you, sir. I also request Dr. Ashwani Goel to present a memento to our guest of honor, Professor M.C. Garg. Thank you, sir. I would like to request Professor S.K. Sharma to adorn a shawl to our keynote speaker, Shri P.C. Pathak. Thank you, sir. I also request Professor Dr. Kamal Sharma to present a memento to our keynote speaker, Shri P.C. Pathak. Sorry, Kamal Sardana, sir. Thank you, sir. I would like to request Dr. Monica Sharma to adorn a shawl to our key speaker, Professor Divya Malhan. Thank you, ma'am. I also request Dr. Ankita Gupta to present a memento to our key speaker, Professor Divya Malhan. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to request Professor S.K. Sharma to adorn a shawl to our worthy director, Professor G.K. Tyagi. Thank you, sir. I also request Dr. Ajay Sharma to present a memento to our worthy director, Professor G.K. Tyagi.
Thank you, sir. Now it's a time for the certificate distribution. I would like to inform and every student who is a part of this PPT presentation program that was conducted on the 10th of March of this month. Department of Management always been active for conducting these academic activities throughout the year. So many of the students have participated in that event, and there were 3 students who scored the position in the theme-based PowerPoint presentation. I would like to congratulate these students, and I request our chief guest to give the certificates to those students. The first position goes to Ritesh from BBA 4th semester. Sponsors with us, Mr. Sachin Jain from Vardhaman Jewelers. Welcome, sir. I request Dr. Ajay Sharma to award a Saman Patrika to Mr. Sachin Jain. Thank you, sir. Next sponsor is Mr. Alok Singh from Prakash Academy. I welcome you, sir. Mr. Alok is also the chairman of this college. Third sponsor with us, Mr. Ved Prakash. I think he is having a business to do that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for being here. We feel very privileged to have you with us. Now I would like to invite Madam Charmali to propose the vote of thanks. Please, ma'am.
Though it's a time of afternoon, but I will just say good morning to make you energize. Good morning, everyone. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by the heart. I feel honored and privileged to get an opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion. I, on behalf of the organizing team, convey the deep regards and hearty thanks to our honorable chief guest, Professor K.T. Agarwal, who spared his valuable time from his busy schedule to grace this occasion. Today we are blessed to hear the valuable thoughts from him. Sir, we are inspired by all your great work. Thank you, sir. I wish to express my sincere thanks to our guest of honor, Professor M.C. Garg, who came here in spite of his illness. Sir, we are blessed to have you here with us, and we take your contribution as well. I wish to express my special thanks to Sri P.C. Pandey, who has graciously accepted our invitation for being here with us today. And we are lucky and fortunate enough to have you, sir. Thank you, sir. I would like to express my gratitude to Professor Divya Malar, a key speaker, for the enlightening us for her knowledge, and thank you, ma'am, for being a part of this event. I wish to extend my warm thanks to our distinguished guests, principals, teachers, scholars, and students who came across from the far destination to contribute their insights and work in the conference to raise the level of the event to the next stage. I would like to thank our sponsoring agencies. It would have been impossible to organize this conference without your immense support. I take my extent sincere thanks to the media person who always with us and covering whole news for the society. I take immense pleasure in extending my sincere thanks to our director, Professor G.K. Tyagi, who had constantly giving advice and support to make this event successful. Thank you, sir. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor S.K. Sharma, convener of the conference, for his constant help and guidance that radiated a source of energy within us. Words are not enough to thank you, sir, for the constant guidance and support to shape the conference. Thank you, sir. I'm also thankful to our head administrator, Sri Pramod Kumar, who helped us in obtaining the necessary administrative approval for organizing this event in our campus. He supported in all possible manner to organize this conference. Thank you, sir. My special thanks to the council officer, Sri Aishwarya, for his constant support throughout the event. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling months in advance. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated faculty, students committee, and volunteers. I cannot thank everyone enough for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zone. Thank you all. I also thank to our technical team, Dr. Surinder Singh, Sanjay Singla sir, Rajesh sir, for their immense support throughout the event. I would also like to thank Sri Umesh for providing us all the necessities on time. I would also extend my thanks to Sri Daljit for his catering team. Without you, this event was not been possible. Thank you very much, sir. I also extend my thanks to our sound system team for making this event successful. If the time is money, then today you have spent millions of us. Thank you, all of you, for making this event successful. Thank you all. Just announcement that there will be arrangement of a lunch in the girls' mess. So you are all cordially invited to have the lunch.
आ गया टूट गया है किसका ठीक है बच गया सुखा था ये फोन किसका भाई संभालना कौन सा एप्पल फाइन है ना
अरे बहुत आगे कर दी, कहीं और आगे कर दिया जल्दी कहिए यार, ये खेत ले खींच जल्दी इधर से खींच, उधर से खींच लगा दे यार, ये इसको और ले लेके आ।
भाई मैं एक वो म्यूजिक चला रहा हूँ मैं।
अभी तो चला दो आपको दोबारा
थोड़ा एंगल दे दे नवीन, एंगल दे दे, एंगल
यूं देना यूं।
स्टार्ट उठा ला और घुमा उधर पीछे की तरफ उसको अंदर ले लो, अंदर अंदर की साइड, अंदर की साइड
ना नेट तो चलेगा, नेट तो डायरेक्टली लाइन लगाई है आपने।
हां इसको अंदर ले लो।
अरे अंदर है क्या यार, अंदर उधर होता है यार
डाल यार
और अंदर ले जा
लाइन कितनी वायर हो रही है। जो मेरी हो रही है कैमरा किसकी है, मेरा नहीं है ये, थोड़ी देर कैमरे की।
श्याम भाई,
साउंड दे,
साउंड देना इसकी। कर दिया आपने पूरी
आवाज कर रखी है, अब इससे सेटअप करो।
अच्छा अच्छा, मेरा एक मिनट बंद हो गया था यार, याद आ
पीपीटी चलेगी सर,
इसमें पीछे से वो उनकी चलेगी,
हमारी किस पे चलेगी तो लाइव होगी
वो बाद में चलेगी ना, वो इसी पे लाइव थोड़ा ना तुम्हारे, तो वैसे चलेगी ना, यहाँ करोगे ना तो
सर। यहाँ पे करेंगे
वो अलग है,
उस पे
ठीक है ना,
अपलोड
बस
करनी
ये
है।
आ जाएगी। अब एक बार सुरेंद्र को फोन लगा, उसको बोल एक बार वो डाउन करके वहां से बोले यहाँ चेक करना है अपने, ये तो चल रहा है, ये सारे निकालने के बाद में अभी नहीं, दीपक को बोल दियो, मैं ये भी किसी लग जाएंगे बाद में।
क्या बोलना है?
चल तू एक बार वहां से ठीक कर, हम यहाँ चेक करना चाह रहे हैं,
कब तक तो रहेंगे,
थोड़ा शाम को बोल, या फिर थोड़ी लगे तो नीचे बैठा देगा, पर आज तू यहाँ बैठा देगा, बढ़िया लगा, मजबूत हो जाएगी। हाँ
यस सर, यस सर। बोलो सर, बोलो। आप आ जाओ, 5 मिनट लंच कर लो, फटाफट आ जाओ। कब कर लिया? तो मैं कराऊं? क्योंकि सेटअप तो तैयार है सर, यहाँ सेटअप की कोई इशू नहीं है। सॉरी, क्या? किसका व्यू? किसका व्यू बताओ, किसका? लैपटॉप लगा हुआ है ना सर, व्यू अगर आपको देखना है तो देख लो। प्रोजेक्टर पे लग गया ना सर, वो व्यू देखना है क्या? लो, तो वो व्यू देखना है तो हाँ, बाकी कोई नहीं सर, मैं भी लंच कराता हूँ, फटाफट आ रहे हैं, क्योंकि अब तो रेडी है ये तो सेटअप। नहीं, प्रोजेक्ट सर, प्रोजेक्टर पे तो चल रहा है ना सर, आप वहां से वो करोगे ना, जो बोलेगा उसको पिन अप कर देना। आप आ रहे हो क्या? आप तो आपकी विजिबिलिटी तो है ही सर, आपकी तो है ही फुल। हाँ हाँ हाँ, ठीक। हाँ, मैं आ रहा हूँ बस, फटाफट है। ओके।